Evening, people. Welcome to BNR. Welcome to another call-in show. Call as you like. Call it what you want. Your show, your opinions, your agenda, your voice. Call it what you want. We need therapy these days as we look on from a distance. The title race is closing in. Will there be another twist? We don't give a shit if there is, as long as City win it, because Sarib and the Arsenal fans are going to do my head in. But welcome to another call-in show. We've got a few people already in the backstage waiting to express their opinion, express their frustration, maybe express their anger, maybe, or whatever you want to call it. But big welcome. There's only one rule. When you go into the house, you go into the building, you take your shoes off, you sit down. Before you get asked about if you want a cup of tea or a coffee, you do the etiquettes. In this building, all you do is smash a like and subscribe if you haven't. And my sort of formalities are over for the time being as I go over to my guest and my partner, Sarib. What's happening? A mainstay in the Sunday show, a mainstay in the Friday show, a mainstay in the call-in show. You're the man these days. What's happening?
No, I'm good, Asim. I'm good, Asim. You know what? I try to keep up the work rate because obviously some of us like to ditch us last second. Some of us like to go on holidays. Some of us don't even turn up to our shows and they leave me to do it on my own. But
Sorry, you can't fault my work rate as well.
no, absolutely. Asim is the guardian of this channel. He's created it. Look at him, 17, 18K on Instagram, Mr. Lineup, Mr. News. He's right there, guys. He's the man. I'm here to just accommodate him. That's it. I'm just here as I'm the Matt Hardy to his Jeff Hardy, if you guys know the reference. But no, I'm okay. I'm okay. But I'm here every day because all the people that are going to sick of me, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to be here as much as I can.
I like it. It's a shame we can't say that for Liverpool, Sarib, because for so much of the seasons, big, large parts of the season, we weren't going away as well. We were sort of crawling our way to the business end of the season, and we fell short. And I guess that's what's going to be the theme of the sort of the night, where callers will express their frustration and anger and see it and just tell us where we went wrong, but also we've got exciting times ahead with the new manager coming in and about 20 million backroom stuff that we need to replace. So it's an interesting summer ahead. But yeah, there's no BNR without Sarib. I like that. I really like it. Oh my God. Oh, you know what? Someone just joined the backstage and that he's gonna make me just sorry, you might have to carry the show whilst he comes on. You'll get him when he comes
He's
on.
a gooner, innit? He's a gooner, innit? He's a gooner. Okay, that's why he's laughing. I can see him in the bottom there laughing.
Was it last year? Me and Sheen traveled down 4 hours to the Emirates. I don't mind Emirates. North London is a bit easier to get to. It's a lot easier than Fulham and Chelsea and Palace. But he traveled down with us in the back seat, really nervous, really quiet on the way down. We were giving him some because the previous year Jota dealt with him in the cup final. Not cup final, was it quarter final or semi-final? Semi-final, I think it was.
2 years ago, the Jota 2-0.
Yeah. Yes, was that semi-final?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
there.
semi-final. But on the way up, oh my God. Talk about, I needed about 6 paracetamols. Gene needed about 8 paracetamols. And he was on the verge of throwing him out the window about 3 times. But it was hard to deal with. But let's get with our show tonight with the callers because it's all about them. We're here to listen. You hear a lot of my rubbish. I won't call Sarib's rubbish, but just my rubbish. Yuvraj was in the house first. He's a regular on the chat. Just before we call in, this is not going to be the 2 hour, 3 hour slog. I've got to be somewhere at 11 o'clock, believe it or not. I'm not going out. I'm a good boy. Sarib's even better, even though he looks like he's going out all the time. Hair nice and straight, nice shirt, and a couple of shirts in the background as well. But it's not going to be the 2 hour slog. So we are going to be a bit quicker with the guys. So let's welcome our first guest of the night. Yuvraj, how are we doing? Still smiling? Nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, out of Liverpool side, it's been actually, I'm good. How are you guys generally?
We're all right. We're surviving.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I don't give a fuck about the game. If I word it right, sorry for the language. Listen, I do care, but at the same time, if we lose, it's like Honestly, it's Klopp's final thing, in a way, but it's one of those games where it's like you want to win for pride. It's just one of those because we're out the title race. We secure Champions League football. It's just more like you want to win for pride. It's literally his second last home game, so it's you're gonna have to win. I think Van Dijk's not fit for tomorrow as well. He's a doubt, so it looks like we Quansah and Konate pairing, which I'm not against because it did well against Arsenal and the Emirates in the FA Cup. So I'm hoping that pairing does well. But yeah, I mean, what's gone wrong in the season? I don't know. I think it's the pressure for me. That's just got to the players. Klopp leaving. You're gonna and I feel like we have to win the league. Well, in the players' minds, are like we have to win the league for Klopp. It was just like, and the pressure got to them. Even I know Darwin can't finish, but it's like even like I think he would. If Klopp didn't announce he would leave, I think Darwin scores at least 2 of the championships.
Yeah, but I think that's quite unfair, and I don't want to play devil's advocate, but Liverpool was still winning games after Klopp announced that he was leaving the club. We won the Carabao Cup after Klopp said he was going to leave the club. We were unbeaten for quite a while. We were getting last minute winners against Forest. We were beating Luton. We were beating teams, and we put performances out. So I think it's very unfair to say the reason of the failure of the season is down to Jurgen Klopp's leaving, because these problems have been evident since the start of last season.
Yeah. But I think personally, I think the United game in the cup affected us mentally because the 4-3 loss. I think that was because I think that was our first. I think Arsenal was our first loss, but that was like the most devastating loss in terms of because that affected us mentally. You could tell because we should have beaten United in the cup. We should have. We just didn't finish. So I think it was the United game that affected us so badly. It was just. I think it's a mix of everything. I think it's poor finishing, poor defensively. I think the style was a bit too. I think Klopp's style is a bit. You get so many chances against Liverpool. Simple as we're a team. But unlike I'm seeing Arsenal, who actually they're levels above us, and I think that's a fact right now. And it's just they were always levels above us.
Did you not insult me for saying that as well, though?
I mean,
why are you going quiet now?
Okay. Look. Okay.
I'm just asking a question.
Okay. Fair play. You were right. I thought we weren't, but I guess they were levels above us, and it's fair play. I was wrong about this. Our style was too unsustainable. I think it's simple as too many late winners. It was. I was celebrating the late winners, but if you actually look at it, it was getting too much now. Like we were going 1-0 down every game, pretty much. It was getting like to a point where it's so you can't keep on going 1-0 down doing comeback. It's gonna get to a point where it's like, all right, you're not gonna do a comeback. So I think Arsenal and City were levels above us. Defensively, they're much better. They can finish, unlike us, and yeah, it's just I think we weren't even meant to be here, in my opinion. I wasn't expecting to be in the title race. We were here, but it's not. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. We should be winning at least. We should have beaten Palace. We should have beaten. Who else? We should have beaten United away in the Premier League. We should have won the games. We weren't even that bad in the games. We just couldn't finish. And I think this summer, I think a lot of players might go. I think Edwards will be ruthless this summer, and I think. That's why I'm excited. I just want the season to end now. I know. Yeah.
How much overhaul do you always sort of predict then, Yuvraj? You said it's lots of players are gonna leave.
I think.
Can you put a number to it?
Not leave, but they're not going to be safe. I think if a good offer comes in for us, like a Diaz or Darwin, I think Salah's staying. I think that's pretty much going to happen. And I will keep Salah as well, in my opinion, just because I don't trust the other forwards to just. I think Salah's staying massive for us because he actually delivers the goals. I don't trust Darwin, Gakpo, Diaz, them not to score for us, and I think that's why we're keeping Salah. And the right wing market is so bad. I think the right winger market is not great. It's just the only good you can go for is Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo's not going to leave Madrid, so I think Darwin could leave potentially if a good offer comes in. I think Diaz could leave. I think Diaz will leave personally. I could see.
Let me ask a question here, bro. Do you think Liverpool need an a revolution or an evolution?
Ooh.
So revolution being selling half the team, evolution being maybe adding one or two, changing the style of play, etc. What's it? What is it down to the players we have, the style of play, the coach? What is it for you? Because obviously we are going into a period of uncertainty. So if you're obviously you're not, if you're the Liverpool manager, do you try and get rid of half this squad or try and evolve this squad? Or a bit of both?
Both, I would say. Listen, I don't want to sell too much. I don't want to keep too much. It's just like we're gonna need to root this summer. I think a lot of these players are in preseason need to really show the manager that they're good enough. I think it's not just preseason. It's actually this season as well. Is Darwin is good enough? I don't know. Is Diaz? He's good. I think he's been our best forward for last few months, but not the GA I want. Even Salah, I love Salah, but like he's not been great for past few weeks. It could go longer. I think Salah's. I think I'll keep Salah even though. Even I think the midfield is fine. I think I would keep Endo as a backup. I know there's rumors about him leaving. I would keep him as a backup. I would go for a DM. I'll take Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. I would really like him. I think he's a good DM. Centre backs, I think, are safe. I think that those are safe. And left back is one I'm looking out because don't be surprised if Robertson gets sold this summer, or we could go for a proper left back.
You wouldn't sign a centre back in your Raj?
No, I would sign a centre back. I would. I would sign a left back as well. I would sell Simicast and buy actual left back like Nori, Robinson, one of them lot. And that right back, I don't think we need Trent and Bradley are good enough. And goalkeepers, Kelleher might leave, so I think we'll link with the Burnley goalkeepers in Trafford. So I think I wouldn't really
as much as what you're saying, you Raj. I probably agree with a lot of it, but I just can't see it happening in one summer, especially with the fact that we've got some contracts to sort out. Van Dijk, Trent's, Alisson's, Salah's.
Yep.
So I just can't see all that happening, and then 5-6 transactions happening. I cannot see it. I just think it's going to be a bit of a slower process. We're in a good position when it comes to FFP, and if we really wanted to push the ball out, I think we can do it. But realistically speaking, especially if we're willing to take a hit on some players, then it might happen. But with Michael Edwards and the resale value of players, how he sees it, I just can't see it. I think it might be, to my frustration, if I'm honest, it might just take a couple of windows.
I agree. I think personally we're gonna have to be patient. Listen, next season I'm just gonna say I think there'll be up and downs. We're just gonna have to deal with it. Even if we've got Amorim, even Alonso's generation, I think he was a dream.
Just quickly before you go, because we have to keep it moving tonight, Raj. As I said earlier in my part of my introduction, it's not going to be a 2-hour slog today. How we're going to get on tomorrow with Spurs? A bit of a revenge because of that Diaz goal that hurt a couple of months ago, didn't it?
Mate, I can't wait to go 1-0 down in the first 5 minutes.
That'd be a good start.
Yeah. But I think we'll win. I just think I don't know where to get the belief from at this point. So I hope Salah turns up because we need him to.
We are unbeaten in one, I believe. So there is some form. We are in some good form.
Buddy, I can't wait for Darwin to miss 7 big chances in the game and we just don't win. I can't. I think we'll win 2-1. I think it'll be 2 late winners. I could just see us win. But I think we'll get. I think Tottenham will outplay us at moments, but we'll get the job done.
I think in these 3 games, it's just going to be 2 hours frustration again. I think in these 3 games, we're going to see some like R9 finishes. We're going to think, where the hell was this finishing in the last month or so when it really mattered? That's what's going to happen.
These last 3 games are just died now. It's just like it was exciting at first, and then now it's just. I have a feeling Charlotte will score tomorrow. I don't know why. He's just gonna score, and you know it. I just hope he doesn't come on the winning side though.
He might not start.
I mean, watch him off the bench though. He's scoring off.
Look at Sarib. Yuvraj, as ever, thank you very much. I'm sorry you have to cut it short tonight, but wherever you are joining us from, as per usual, thank you very much, and enjoy the game tomorrow. And we'll see you soon. Yeah.
Yep.
Take care. We've got about 3-4 people waiting. Let's add Danny Boy London. Danny, I was supposed to add you. I didn't know you were waiting in the chat
No problem.
backstage. Sorry before, but
No worries.
how are we doing, my friend? How's it going?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Not too bad. Let me just turn the light on. It's a little bit dark in here.
Danny, you had 20 minutes to do that. Now you decide to turn your light on, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was like.
He's saving electricity, isn't he? He's doing
You know
stuff
what
for
I
the
mean?
environment.
Times out here. God.
I'm only joking. What do you
No,
want to
but-
talk about tonight, man?
Just next season, really.
Yeah. I think that's all we can talk about.
There's not really much to talk about. I think the Achilles heel of Klopp has finally taken its toll.
What do you mean by that?
It's injuries, recurring injuries all the time. So much so that even he's become tired himself now. He's too intense, and I think to go to the next level to compete with someone like City, well, God knows what it's going to take, but it's clearly we weren't successful enough, in my opinion. So yeah, and next season, brace yourselves. I think we should brace ourselves because it could fall apart. If Arnie comes and he starts saying, look, these sorts of players, like let's say for example Van Dijk, I don't like how he operates. That's a cornerstone of our team. He's getting old. He's not moving quick enough. I want to change the way we defend from the back. This could have major repercussions to the team and sort of a whole.
Is Van Dijk there yet, Danny? That he will have those sort of concerns? Arguably, Van Dijk has been one of our best players this season.
Oh yeah, Virgil. Yeah, I think Virgil even knows himself. Like his time's coming soon.
Yeah, of course. But Thiago Silva is still going.
Yeah, but Virgil is not Thiago Silva.
Yeah, he's better.
Really?
He's not Thiago Silva, no.
He's better.
Thiago Silva is better than Virgil van Dijk, of course. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. In my opinion,
Thiago is better than Virgil van Dijk.
Thiago Silva is an incredible defender.
Maybe in terms of his career,
of course,
but not his prime.
No, like that. He said he is incredible. He's really incredible. He's not Cannavaro level, but he's close. He's in and around that level. He's so good. And this is just the end of his career. His twilight. He was at Chelsea, and he was their best defender for seasons.
So then why would you go and try to sell Virgil van Dijk when he's not even near what Thiago Silva was when he first came to Chelsea?
I'm saying I didn't say so. That's not what I said. What I said was that if Arnie comes in and he wants to defend in a different way, yeah, then he will look at changing that. And I think Virgil is getting to the. I mean, maybe he's been carrying niggles and injuries, earlier on in the season, but he's just having to keep play, and they've had to manage that, and that hasn't allowed us to do certain things we would like to do. But it was the cards that we had in our hands to play with, and that's what it is. But again, it comes down to this idea of there's too much recurring injuries in the squad throughout seasons on seasons, and that manifests itself in the championship rounds, if you like, of the season, which for me are somewhere between the last 5 and 10 games.
Reoccurring injuries, Danny, you say. I must admit, there is that scenario we have to look at, and it'd be interesting to see how Slot handles it. You've probably done your research. I've done my research, and so has everybody else. High turnovers, high press is something that Slot looks like, and do you think that's a concern?
How do you mean? What's a concern?
In terms of the intensity of the press?
We're just not smart enough with our press. With the players we have, we're not smart enough. They're not capable, and not many players are, to be honest with you, to be consistently doing that throughout a whole season. You need other elements of the squad to help that process. Klopp he would come out and say that's one of your best assist makers types to create a goal. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, because when your steam starts to run low, then where's the other avenues of making assists? You know, so yeah. But next season we just gotta be careful. Really, I disagree with what the last caller was saying about we're levels below Arsenal. I don't believe I don't believe we're levels below Arsenal. I just think it was the injuries, critical injuries at critical times. Because what you gotta understand is it's like a
now, Danny.
no, Sarib is obviously he's got his opinions, but I would say it's like a relay race. When you lose momentum of passing on that baton, you got to reset again. And we've never had a consistent, like, look at Arsenal's first 11, like, consistently playing with each other. Like, anyone who plays football, you can play on the park. If you play with 6-7 guys in 11 aside consistently, you will start getting better. You're more seasoned, so to speak. You know, literally seasoned.
Yeah.
And we just haven't had that luxury because they just kept, you know, Robertson goes, then he come back, then Trent goes, and then Salah went, and do you know what I mean? And then Curtis Jones got injured, and then Jota was out, and it was just staggered all the time, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help. That's like
where does the blame lie then, Danny? In terms
it's
of
not
our
about
injuries,
blame because there's
someone's going to take the injuries. The blame, sorry.
No, I don't know the ins and outs of football in that way so you know, closely. I couldn't really tell you, to be honest with you. I've not seen the organisation of a football club and understand who's responsible for what. But generally speaking, it would be with the coaching and the medics, or whatever you want to call them, physios or recovery, essentially, to be quite broad stroke about it.
Let me ask you a question then. Do you think the failures of this season are down to Liverpool's injuries?
Oh, yeah.
So you think that's solely the reason why Liverpool have not won the title?
You got to be careful with the word. I wouldn't say solely. Okay. I would say up to yes, and very likely yes, but it's not solely. Yeah, in a season, a lot happens.
But I want to ask, what's that got to do with the likes of Diaz and Salah and Gakpo and Nunez missing chance after chance? Darwin has had 65 missed chances this season and his XG should be a lot higher.
That's another element. But you see, what happens is our main problem, is when you look that's one aspect of it. You're definitely missing. But I think the other problem we've really had is conceding goals. Yeah, and at some point you won't keep scoring as many as you were, and that's what ended up happening to us. And now, if you had players like, let's say for example, you had Jota, then you could make some changes there. But we didn't really have anything there, to be honest with you. But they shouldn't be missing those shots. I think that's an obvious point. That's an obvious point. But don't forget, we were doing the business for most part of the season. It was.
How can it be down to injuries then?
Okay, how much time do you have? I mean, look.
You can say what you want. I just don't agree with people blaming the season's failings on injuries because we have played.
I mean, Klopp's come out and said it himself in an article with The Guardian. I think I was reading it yesterday.
He's not going to come out.
Whether you want to agree with that or not, he does. But I appreciate that, but he manages the football club, and he's saying that. So everything else is just opinion. He's an expert witness. He's there. He's looking at it in the flesh. And the fact that he's saying he's out of energy himself just shows how intensely the football club is run. It's too intense. It's too intense.
So whose fault is that, Danny? If things are intense,
there's no perfect. I don't blame Klopp. He done.
The manager has to take some responsibility, Danny. Surely,
you just said he sets up the team, he coaches the team. So surely he's to blame for the failings of the season as well.
Blame is a strong word. I think he has a footballing philosophy, and that's what it is. And I think it's starting to take its toll. In terms of being successful, I think you need to go with a press and ball possession based mixed game, which is what Arteta and Pep focus on. Because it helps you even out your odds, which one of them is fatigue. It helps you manage that process better.
That's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
get at. Because even in the press conference this Friday, Danny, the Klopp, it was a brilliant press conference, by the way, and I think we've got a few more coming in the next couple of weeks. But he was talking about, and I 100% agree that the Premier League is the most intense and it's the best league in the world. Guardiola
It's not
backed
the
him up
best. The Premier League's not the best. No.
in terms of quality and intensity.
In terms of, look, I think that's another subject. We should actually talk about that. We should actually set up a show to discuss that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But
Okay. Well, look, my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, no, fair enough.
No, go for it.
The two main issues are, and nobody can disagree with this, the quality of regulation, refereeing, and administration
I'm
of the
talking
league.
about the quality of football.
The quality of football is very high in other leagues as well. I disagree with you on that.
But who quality of football, which is better than the Premier League in terms of quality of teams? Five, six teams competing.
We're not far. I mean, I don't think we're like. It's not like massive. It's just arguable.
Okay, but if the Premier League isn't the best league, then which one is?
I don't think there is a best league right now. I think they're all okay. I don't think anyone's on. I think Man City is the outlier. I'll say that. Man City is the outlier. Yeah. But we're talking about a league, then you've got to look at all the teams. Even the teams at the bottom, what is their quality compared to the teams at the bottom? And now we're talking about league here. We're not just talking about Liverpool, Arsenal,
Yeah,
Man
but
City.
it just shows you Crystal Palace. Where are they in the league? 15th or 16th. They've got players like Heze and Elise playing for them. If Heze and Elise,
look at the players. Yeah, but my friend, look at the players.
If Heze and Elise were playing in the German league, I think personally they'd be playing for a top 6 club in Germany. Is that fair to say?
I don't think the German league, I'll put it in there, but I would definitely put the Spanish league in there. I think the Spanish league is...
They'll probably be playing for a top 6 league in the Spanish La Liga. Would you agree?
I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to agree. I would just say that the Premier League's... The one thing that frustrates me about the Premier League, and I know you're talking about football and the performance level, but I'm sorry, regulation is such a huge part of the game, and I just think it's appalling.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's absolutely appalling. It's a part of the game. It's the league. You know what I mean? It's part of a football match. The regulation level is so bad. The stuff that happened with Tottenham, the video that LFC made GPGMOL release, and the fact that nothing happened, it really borders on the line of inclusivity. Are they doing dodgy stuff? What is actually going on here? And the fact that the Premier League have got Man City in a backlog of 15 seasons worth of charges. What the hell were they doing for 15 seasons? Now that it's just come up this season. What were you doing for 15 seasons? What, you're just walking by? It's not good enough. I mean, this might be on the borderline of, suspicion, or what's the word? What's that word?
Corruption.
Conspiracy theories, of UFOs and whatnot. But my friend, it's dirty. It's a dirty. There's a lot.
That's again, for me, that's hypothetical. I don't think we should be blaming as much as we make jokes about. I don't think we should be blaming the 115 charges of Man City and the reason why Liverpool have not won the title, because again, that's hypothetical. That's not being proven.
No. We're just talking about the quality of the league. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah. No. Man City, they're the best, man. I already said Pep's the best. He's gonna make it 4-4 this season. And Arsenal are going to be like. Then Arsenal are going to be like us in the previous seasons, where we're just that point away. Don't worry, next season, and the next season will come like, we're going to be 1 point away. Look at City; they just battered Wolves 5-1.
I think it was quite evident this season. As much as they've had injuries, their quality of football has dropped a level. And I think that's quite obvious to see as well, that they're not playing well in games. They're not in too much control. Like, I've never seen Man City come to Anfield and get battered like that. Even though we drew the game, even the games we beat them at home, I've never ever seen Man City on the ropes like that ever. And what Arsenal did to us, how they played at Anfield, how they played at the Etihad, how they played at the Emirates Stadium, and they looked in total control. For me, it's like Man
I
City on the
personally-
decline and Arsenal on the rise. So there's going to be a point where they're both going to meet, and Arsenal's going to go there, and City are going to draw there, similar to what we did
Yeah.
during that 18 to 20 period.
Well, this is it. This is it. I mean, I agree with you. I think based on performance, Arsenal have been unreal. I don't
Yeah.
like Arsenal fans,
Neither do I.
but I will agree that they deserve to win the league. But if Man City win it, it's a funny one. I would say Man City deserve to win the league because you can't do 4-4, man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
You got to understand the appetite of a person to keep consistently winning over the course of 4 years is unreal. That's an achievement in itself. Forget about winning one league. So Man City can be on the ropes, but they're like Muhammad Ali. They're just douche, you know? Like, oh, shit. Well, I thought I was, Larry Holmes and I had him, but bang, it don't work like that. But it's Man City. You got Pep Guardiola. He's a different animal.
Yeah.
These guys
Well,
are like
the young
he's kidding,
pretender
man.
is the young pretender is only a point behind, 2 points behind.
Yeah.
So you never know.
We've
There
all
might
been
be
there
a
we've all been there
late
before,
twist,
haven't we?
Danny. There might be a late twist. But before you go, Danny, just give me your prediction about tomorrow.
As usual, we go and win. So
As
that's my
usual.
prediction. We go there, we go and win. Yeah. Tottenham did shit anyway.
Score? What's the score, Danny? What's the score?
We're gonna concede.
No.
Let's get that out of the way.
What
Let's get
minute?
that out of the way.
Conceding minute.
Between 1 and 10. 3-1 or something. Hopefully 3-1, 4-1.
Okay, let's see. We'll have to put the ball back in the net a few times for that to happen. Danny, as ever, thank you very much, mate. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and we shall
thanks,
catch you very, very soon, mate.
Have a good evening. See you all.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Sarib, there's a interesting question here. That's from Joker Ben. Do you think Stefan Bajcetic starts tomorrow?
No.
He's shaking your head. He's shaking your head.
I don't think he's going to make another. I don't think he's going to make an appearance this season. I don't see the point because he was on the bench against West Ham,
Yeah.
but I think it's maybe. You alluded to this on a couple shows before as well, that maybe he's on the bench to just build that match day experience up again, just kind of be in and around the first team. No, you know what? He might get 15. I think not tomorrow. I think maybe Villa away, but it's going to be one of the it's going to be one of those games where if we're not in control, we're in control of the game, that he'd come on. Because as much as I want to play the kids and let it go, I don't think Klopp will do so, because I think it's not over till it's over. I think that's the mentality of Klopp, and I think that's what he's going to be like. Anything can happen in football, kind of thing. And he said this before, even games against Barcelona that we played, that anything can happen, even though realistically it is highly unlikely. We have less than a 1% chance of winning the title. But if Bajcetic hasn't made an appearance, it's very unlikely we'll see him start tomorrow. And for me personally, I wouldn't, because I just want him to just have that rest for the season and get him involved in pre-season again. Because I don't really see the point of, he's just come back from a long injury. He's been a setback after setback, similar to what Virgil and Gomez did in the 2021 season. Would you really risk them? I wouldn't personally.
You mentioned, how Klopp stays true to his principles about picking the team on merit. How do you see it going over the next 3 games? Do you see a bit of rotation going on? Make sure everyone plays, the likes of, McConnell, Dan's, just to because what they've done this season, there's not much riding on this game? Or do you think it'll be the best team every week for the next 3 weeks?
I think it will be the best team, because the league has been done for a while. Not mathematically. I don't know the chances of us winning it now, but I think, again, Klopp sticks to his morals, and I don't think he has loyalty. Well, I don't think he has loyalty to younger players yet. As he does to Robbo and Verge and Alisson and Salah, etc., etc., etc. But having said that, we've seen him make changes this season, as in leaving Mohamed Salah on the bench and completely changing that midfield. He's played the kids and they've done really, really well. It's tough to say, Asim, because we're in such a weird position with 3 games to go, because the league is not done, but it's done. So do you throw the kids on, or do you play the first? I don't know. What do you make of it?
I probably look. You said the manager doesn't have loyalty towards the players,
The younger players, not the
players. Like, remember when there was talk of, or to come on in the derby. We weren't really creating much. He was on the bench. He was doing all his warm-ups, itching to get under the pitch. And then he got asked about, the selection of Dan's coming on for the last 10, 15 minutes, because some of those substitutions in that game were really, really, questionable. And that's why he got asked by the journalists in the presser, Sarib, that why didn't Dan's come on when you were chasing the game? You needed a couple of goals. And the title race was slipping away. But he said, look, I didn't want him to come on and Calvert-Lewin to kick for Cartwin, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I'm paraphrasing now, obviously, but that was, whether you want to call it loyalty, whether you want to call it protection, maybe it's a bit of both. But I think you might see some cameo performances, maybe at home for the last 10, 15 minutes in the Wolves game. But I think generally, he stays true to this team, especially the guys who have been on this journey with him for the last 5, 6, 7 years. The likes of Salah, even Jota, Van Dijk, Kanate, even Alisson. And I think that is the right way to go about it, because, Wolves, there's nothing riding on it, but you have to stay true to your principles. Those guys, his troops, his soldiers need to be on that pitch. But, there's some cracking questions, again, in the comments that Gravenberch must start. He's been lively, especially in the West Ham game. He got a goal. Then he didn't even come on for the next game, didn't he? Everton, was it the Everton game?
I don't think he came on. He didn't come on in the derby. From the top of my head, I can't remember. He didn't come on.
Yeah, from the top of my head, he didn't come on.
Yeah.
And that was very, very questionable, because he was good, but Bajcetic is another question that we've discussed. Teak says by the time Baj has a game, he'll be 9 foot tall.
By the way, he is massive. I was sitting really close to it. He's massive now. He was standing next to Nunes and looked an absolute tank. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Sticking with Baj, Hamza asked a question. Does Bajcetic start as DM next season?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I think there's too much risk now. Risk in terms of how is he going to react from this injury? If this injury wasn't a thing, Asim, I'd say yes, 100%. So if he was starting games this season, similarly to how Endo and McAllister were, I'd say yes, absolutely yes. Bang on, nailed on to be our first choice DM. But because of that injury he's had, Asim, the setback, and because he's so young as a player and Klopp is leaving, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I still think he needs some development, because he was in and around a team when Liverpool were not competing at the top of their level. He was chop and change, playing right centre against Real Madrid. But having said that, I do think he can play a big part. And if he gets a run of games, similarly to a lot of players that we have, that is another conversation for another day. I would keep him, but maybe not as a starter just yet.
Yeah, I agree. I even tweeted that I think we have to target a physical DM. There's not many about. There was a talk of this destroyer last summer. We went with McAllister. We could have done with Bajcetic. We could have done with Thiago. And, for the reasons we know already, that they didn't have any role to play this season. But maybe it's cost us in the end that we didn't really have that physicality against Everton. I was looking around, who is going to, apart from Verge, who they were blocking intentionally, that was the plan, and overload the back posts. I couldn't see anyone, because Kanate was having a shocker, was half decent in the air, and when he's having a shocker, there's hardly anyone else. So yeah, I think Liverpool will prioritize that area. Does he have a part to play and a role to play? Of course he does. It all depends on the development of his fitness. We couldn't rely on him as a kid, and rightly so, to be fair to him. Over 12, 13 games, he was brilliant, but his body couldn't handle it. It's all about making sure he's right over the course of the season. And he needs a preseason. He'll get that preseason. He'll get the minutes in under 21s and behind the scenes. But we have to make sure we're patient with him, because as a fan base, obviously we need someone like him. His long legs, his mobility, his drive, his tenacity. He could be the perfect role or the partner for someone like Trent, someone like McAllister. But I think if we buy someone, then we've got 3-4 players, especially when you consider Arne Slot, who's really big on this double pivot, where he plays probably one destroyer and one architect, or someone a bit more expressive. So if we don't buy a DM, then I'll be really concerned. If we get one in, which I think we will, then we've got Bajcetic, we've got Trent, if we play a conventional right back. If we don't, we've still got McAllister, we've got Curtis Jones who can do that role, we've got Bajcetic, obviously, and then the new DM, and there's one more as well. Obviously, Trent, if we play a conventional right back. So we've got good numbers. And then we've got the likes of Gravenberg and Saboslai who can
Endo.
play Endo as well. Yeah, that's the one who I was talking about. But I think if we bring a new DM, Sarib, I just have to question where Endo fits
Yeah,
into the squad. Although he did have a purple patch, maybe I don't know. We have to judge him on. Sorry.
just make sure you speak, you talk a bit calmly on Wataru, okay? You know how I feel about Wataru. The Endo Defense League is still, we're still here. We're still
Yeah,
here.
we're still here. We're still here. But you know what I mean. You know,
I
if
know.
Liverpool really want to trouble those big teams, Arsenal and Man City, we have to make sure we can compete with them down the spine. We've got Alisson, we've got Van Dijk. We need a DM. And then obviously we've got Salah, even though he's out wide, but you know, we can compete in terms of the world class level in each and every line. I'd love to say Darwin Nunes, but maybe
I think we
when
all
he
want to
gets
say that.
his shooting boots on, we can compare him to the likes of Haaland and Havertz, for example. You know, he's not the goal scorer. He missed absolutely sitters, but they found a role for him where if
Well,
Arsenal are struggling with the high press of the opposition, they can go long. And I think this is, you have to give credit to Arteta, where Arsenal was sometimes, I think Arteta mentioned a couple of seasons ago at Anfield, where he said, doesn't matter how good your press is, when you've got a Virgil van Dijk ping right up to Salah and they sort of get out of the press, what can you do about that? And then even City went from Edison to Haaland. You don't have to, you know, beat the press all the time. If someone comes up and tries to squeeze you, you can go direct, you can go really long, especially if you've got someone like Kevin De Bruyne playing the second striker role. And
yeah.
that's what the likes of, you know, Odegaard, even though he's been a lot deeper this season, picking up those second balls and, you know, winning the position, the ball in a really high position. And that's where Arteta has, you know, really added another facet to Arsenal, where Havertz is a really, really pain in the ass, where he comes sometimes to the left, especially to the left, and creates those overloads and wins so many balls for those you know, midfielders to get close to him, whether it's a flick on or even, you know, a drop, sorry, a head on into the space. So yeah, it's about doing different things at different times, and Liverpool at times have been a bit too predictable, and that is one of the reasons. And I kind of agreed with Danny, where injuries, I think, have, you know, sort of cost Liverpool. It's not the only reason. I think Klopp has to take a lot of responsibility for that. But I think over the next couple of seasons, we'll do a few shows and talk about where we've gone wrong and assess the season in real depth. But Minerals, I can't say the Minerals are God. Well, I've said it there, but he's been waiting patiently, really patiently. He's been texting in the private chat, Asim, come on. I'm being very, very patient here. Get me on. Here's your chance, Minerals. How are you doing?
Hey,
I think it's
yeah,
your
let me cook.
Turn your camera on though.
No,
debut, isn't it, Minerals?
no, it's not. I was
Yeah,
here after Bournemouth
been there before. He's been there.
with preview
Oh, I'm sorry.
in
I'm sorry.
January.
Hope you well. It's been a long time.
I've,
A lot of things have happened since January.
I've been trying to come on for a couple of times, but you know the Matrix doesn't want me to come on. But it is what it is.
The Matrix.
They don't want me to say the truth, so that's why I'm always cancelled. You know what I mean?
What's
Always
what's the
cancel
truth,
myself.
Nicholas? What's the truth? Give us some truth. Give us some wisdom.
My truth is when I cook Liverpool. You know what I mean? When I say uncomfortable things about Liverpool, maybe
Say
that's
how you
why
feel. Say how you
Minerals,
feel.
just to clarify, I'm sorry, I forgot you've come onto the stream before. Are you a Liverpool fan?
I'm not a Liverpool fan.
He's
Who do you
awesome.
support?
I'm an
Who do you
Arsenal
support?
fan.
Okay, yeah, no, you're more than welcome. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure before you cook, as you say. Go for it.
Bro, I'm not gonna necessarily cook Liverpool. I don't hate Liverpool. It's just that how has this fallen apart, man? And I'm not gonna blow smoke up my ass, yeah. Pause. But I've been seeing this coming all season, bro. Going behind 21 times. Darwin Nunes, who is a donkey. You know what I mean? Luis Diaz, who can't pull who can't score in the brothel. Let's have it right. and Mo Salah. You know what I mean? Being on going off his patch. You know what I mean? Injuries and things. But
It's funny, is there anyone in the Arsenal squad that has more league goals than Salah?
I'm not hating on Salah. I'm just saying Salah being injured.
Again, I'm not hating on Arsenal. I'm just asking a question.
Nah, we don't. I respect Salah. What I'm saying is Salah's injuries and stuff like that haven't helped you guys. You know, if it was available for one of the games you drop points, who knows, right? So yeah, that's the thing.
Where do you think it's gone wrong for Liverpool, Minerals? Looking from the
what's
outside.
what's gone wrong for Liverpool for me? It's your style of play. That's the problem. Going behind 21 times, that's unsustainable. Since game week one, it has been a theme for Liverpool. That's been the problem. Like, for me, as someone who's starting to study tactics, that issue for Liverpool going behind constantly is because Klopp sets Liverpool badly to begin with. For that to keep happening. You know what I mean? Do you guys think Klopp sets Liverpool badly and that's why you concede all the time?
But Klopp's also won us a league title. What's your
I
manager?
know he's won. I'm saying this season. I'm talking about this season, bro. I'm saying
this
going
season
behind constantly.
this season he's won a trophy though, and your manager hasn't.
Oh my day!
Where's
Hey,
Well,
hey,
Minerals,
Sarib,
look, what you're saying, Minerals, I have to agree with it. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been banging on about Liverpool structure for a long time. Even when things were good, you could see it wasn't sustainable. It doesn't help when you concede the first goal in the first 5 minutes, week in, week out, 24 times. I think it's this season, and before you know it, you're chasing games. That Everton game, you could see Liverpool sort of first 5-10 minutes controlling the game. Then Everton got a few, cheap free kicks, which was their plan, to be fair to them, and sort of made it really physical, and really, Liverpool couldn't handle it. And in terms of Liverpool's natural physicality from number 1 to number 11, it doesn't match with City. It doesn't match with Arsenal. And then when you look at the structure and how they control games, it can't. They don't match Arsenal and City on those two on that level as well. So
I'm
no
not asking to
control,
control
lack of
games.
structure, natural physicality as well in terms of the personnel, then it's going to catch up on you, isn't it? Liverpool have played this full throttle football, and when it's really peaking and it's working, it's probably the best thing in football to watch. More exciting than Arsenal and City, in my opinion, and many fans would agree on both sets of fan bases. But when it goes wrong, I've been talking about Liverpool don't have something to fall back on, and in the end, it's cost us. Whether you want to call it injuries, whether you want to call it a lack of management, in terms of the structure and control in games, there's 2-3 sort of factors where everyone has to take responsibility, and I have to admit the manager has to take responsibility. It's not a coincidence. It's definitely a pattern. If you keep on conceding, you have to keep looking at it. You have to look at it, and you have to address it. And Liverpool haven't addressed something that's
Exactly.
staring them
You spot on
in the face.
That's what I'm saying, Asim. When you go behind constantly, it means you've been set up badly to begin with. If you know what I'm saying, Asim, it means you're not prepared mentally for the game. And do you think it's Klopp's fault for not motivating the players properly, or the players are disgraced?
I don't think it's motivation. I don't think I've not seen a side, a Jurgen Klopp side, very rarely, that I look and I think this team is not playing for the manager, or he's lost the team, he's lost the dressing room. Maybe last year when the players were looking at each other saying, what the fuck's going on? Even Klopp didn't know what's going on. But I think the penny dropped that his midfield, his engine just lost a lot of legs, and it was time for the refresh. But I think you have to be fair to the manager, where I don't think this season you can question the players' motivation and desire. There's 3-4, we've just discussed it, 3-4 factors that affected them. And we've come up short against two very good sides who don't give much. And if they don't score, they make sure they don't concede. That's something you can't say for Liverpool.
Exactly, man. And also as well. That has been another horrible theme.
Sorry?
You guys haven't had the consistent.
There's a
You know what I
question
mean?
for you in the comments. There's a question for you. So they
You
are
guys,
engaged.
you
There's a
guys
comment.
haven't had the.
Ask Mineral when so according to Kibria, he doesn't think Arsenal are going to win the league. Who's had a better season? Us or them? So Liverpool third with a Carabao Cup or Arsenal
Good question.
second
It's a
trophy.
good question.
Who's had a better season? Because
Oh,
what's football about?
Oh, minerals don't have minerals to answer this question.
bro, I'm gonna answer. Yeah. First of all, Mohammed, with all due respect, yeah. First call my name properly. Yeah. Let's have it right. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And second of all, you guys have had a
He's missed an S
better
out.
season.
Come
Yeah?
on.
He needs to show some respect, bro. Just because he's on here, just because he's on here, yeah, on the thing, he needs to show respect, bro. You know what I
Come
mean?
on. I'm sure he didn't do it deliberately. He just missed an S out.
Oh, this guy's a troll, man.
I'm not a troll, bro.
You're a troll, bro.
Sorry, bro. I'm real as it gets, bro. And
Okay,
let
Minerals,
me.
answer the question, brother. Answer the question.
Oh man, fair enough.
Liverpool would have had a better season than us, obviously, but I'm just praying we win it, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's about silverware. I said to you guys, I said also as well, the injuries have been a problem. Not having a consistent back four. Do you think that's another reason? The injuries for your defenders.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said I agree with Danny, but I don't think that is just the ultimate reason or the main reason. We're gonna miss players like Salah. We're gonna miss players like Jota, especially Arsenal fans know how good Diogo Jota is and how important he is to Liverpool. But yeah, look, they had an effect. They had an effect, and over the course of January and February, we put so much into those games. Chasing games, coming behind in cup finals with kids, and it felt like on a weekly basis we were just losing 2-3 players per game.
Yeah.
And we were to the bare bones. We really were. And maybe when our big players came, they lacked rhythm, they lacked match fitness. And that's all you need in the business end of the season. You need everyone fit. You guys look at Arsenal now, and I think maybe it's a blessing in disguise. You've gone out of the Champions League where you're playing on a weekly basis. You can go all in on the Premier League matches where they just really look focused. And you look really, I didn't watch the game, but apparently you looked really, really good. And you just didn't even before you got the first goal. Even before you got the first goal, apparently Arsenal should have been 4-5 nil ahead. That intensity. I think you had a stinker in the second half against Villa. You looked really tired over January, just past Christmas.
Yeah.
I think I watched you against Fulham away. You looked leggy in that game, but look, you can count those games on one finger, on one hand. How many games Arsenal have looked a bit leggy? Generally speaking, I agree with Danny earlier. He said, look, they've had a consistent basis team, and they have got a bit lucky. But I talk to plenty of Arsenal fans. They'll tell me that Jesus has been injured, and a few others have been injured. Timber, Partey. There's 3 arguable first teamers that you've missed. But I think you can't compare your injuries to the number of injuries to Liverpool. But you have to give credit to Arteta. He didn't have the amount of injuries compared to Liverpool, but the way he managed and coached his team and made them hard to beat. Carragher did a 30-minute thesis earlier part of the season where he said he really concerns him the fact that Arsenal's chance creation is probably going to be the reason they don't win the league. But look how he addressed it. The subtle adjustments he made in structure and personnel, the freedom that he gave to Rice and putting in Jorginho in gave him the extra control and technical ability in midfield. And you have to take your hats off to Arsenal and Arteta. They looked an absolute team, and they're here to stay. That's the best thing about Arsenal, because they've got the
Exactly,
team at the
man.
right age, and with a few more additions in the summer, there could be some
Yeah, will
serious,
be
serious
scary. That's the thing.
team.
We just need a striker, in my opinion, or maybe another number 8, and we'll definitely be here. For me, I want to win. I'll do everything to win this Premier League, but it's unfortunately not in
Oh,
our hands, man.
yeah. Before you go, Minerals, do you think you're going to win the league with your mind and not with your heart?
Yes, man. You know what I mean? And and apparently Liverpool don't. They were apparently fans like you get fans like maybe Asim, you've been on the Arsenal hate thing.
Me?
You- apparently, apparently though, and a few videos I've been watching.
No, no,
Apparently, you
look,
want Man City to win the league
during
again.
COVID, I used to spend, more Arsenal on Twitter.
Yeah, Mo,
Ask
the
him.
Palestinian bloke, isn't
No, I don't think he's Palestinian. I think he's Pakistani. I might be wrong.
The one that was on
Uh,
Arsenal fan TV. That guy.
No, not him. The Twitter guy.
Oh
AFC
yeah,
Mo.
Mo, AFC
I think
Mo.
he's AFC more. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
AFC more. I talked to him on, sort of on a personal level as well, and ask him during COVID. I used to go into Arsenal spaces because everyone was bored, during COVID. And the Arteta crew, it wasn't just a minority; it was quite a large majority on Twitter, especially before you bought a lot of players. During COVID, that voice was quite strong on Twitter, and I used to try to convince him and saying he's doing the right things. You'll just probably need a 2-3 window process, and he's proven it. Sort of he's got backed, he's spent money, but he's brought players in the right areas, and
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to give him hat off to him.
What,
But
what I'm saying, Asim, is I've seen Liverpool fans, you know what I mean, blow up Man City's ass, you know what I mean, wanting them to win 4 in a row so that Arteta doesn't have one, Klopp doesn't, you know what I mean?
Minners, the Arsenal fan base did the same. You really deep down can tell me that you wanted Liverpool to win the league in the last, when we
Of
went
course, bro.
toe to
I always
toe.
wanted
Oh,
Liverpool to
I
win
think
the
there's a
league.
better question for you, Minro. So when Liverpool were on that run during the 1920 season before we played Watford, when we were 27 games into the season unbeaten, you were shitting your pants. You're telling me you want Liverpool to win the league invincible?
Not invincible, but I want them
There you
to
go
win the
then.
league.
So why would I want Arteta to have the same Premier League titles as Jurgen Klopp?
That's a good point, Sarib. That's a good point.
Yeah, man. And one thing is, now all of a sudden, a few Liverpool fans, yeah, and that I want to call out that are running their gums, yeah, those premature ejaculators and that, those men are now twerking for City, bro. They want them to win the league, and that's it, man. And if City win this league, we're finished. That's what I can say. You know what I mean?
Not really. I think
We might as well
if
start
Man City win the
watching
league,
golf, bro.
if Man City win the league, we'll get over in 3 weeks because I felt that feeling before. As much as I think
Bro.
Arsenal are going to win the league, I think I've said I want them to do it, but your fans really annoy me, and I've got close Arsenal fans that are just starting to twist my head a bit, saying, and I've seen the way they're talking now. Oh yeah, we're better than. I don't like it. So you know what? I hope you don't win the league, and I hope you fail and lose the rest of your games.
Oi,
How about
you're flip flop Sarib. You're flip flop
Minerals,
Sarib
I'm
now.
gonna have to cut you off, bro. I'm gonna have to keep the conversation moving. But thank
Yeah,
you very
man,
much. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, man, big ups to
maybe
him,
maybe
man.
you can come in here in a couple of weeks' time, and maybe there is a late twist. Maybe there is a late twist in the
Yeah, you
title.
never know, man. Much love, man. You never walk alone and that. Come on.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much.
Man.
Take care. Bye bye. Let's keep it moving, Sari, because we did say this is going to be about an hour 15 max, and we've already been. It's been an hour. It's been an hour. And before you know it, before the few other regulars come, it'll be midnight. Nigel, big up to you, bro. How are we doing, man?
Hey, how are you guys?
I'm okay, thanks. How about yourself? Where are you? Still in Manchester, was it?
No. Yeah. I'm still in Johannesburg. We'll leave around 30th of May.
Oh, yeah, South Africa, wasn't it? Who I
Yeah,
think who Ayush was the Manchester one, I think.
Yeah.
Was
Yes,
it? Okay. Najmal, what's happening? What do you want to talk about? The title race?
I just want to talk about the next season. Nothing about this season.
That's what everyone wants to talk about, Najmul.
Yeah, farewell I can talk about, but yeah, nothing about the game.
Okay, you do want to talk about next season? Talk about next season. Let's hear you.
Um, so do you see us getting a DM apart from like let's suppose we have Endo and Pachetic will also be coming in?
Sarib, do you want to take that? We've just kind of touched on this before, haven't we, earlier on? But Nigel has asked the question. We answer. We're here at People's Service.
The thing is, Najmal, right? I can't say yes, but I can't say no because Liverpool are such an unpredictable club in the transfer window. If you had asked me last summer, do I think Liverpool will get Szoboszlai and Endo? I would have told you no. I would have told you no. And that was a span of 5 weeks. That whole shift happened in a month. We got players I thought we'd never even be linked with because it was all Mason Mount, Jude Bellingham, Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, etc. Thuram. But I'd like to think so because we need one, and I think that's quite obvious. So I will say yes because I want that to happen. So I'm going to kind of try to speak into existence. But I really hope so. I really hope so, Najma. I can't go into a season
Yeah,
with McAllister.
because there's too much chaos. Yeah,
What do you think?
I think so. We should go for a DM
Do
considering.
you think we will get a DM though?
No,
You don't think so?
no.
Asim,
That's
why
how we are.
Liverpool are not going to sign a 6 this summer.
Yeah, I think that's how we are. Like we are gonna believe so much belief in Endo and McAllister and Stefan. So yeah, that's the thing.
Isn't that a risk though, Najma? Don't you think it's a risk?
Yeah, that is. But like this is how FSG are. Get the maximum out of them, and this is why they have bringed in a coach who is going to be a coach and not will be will not be involved in those transfer operations and stuff.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I've had this conversation as well, Sarib, where I called Slot earlier on. When Amarim didn't take the job, maybe the reports of his demands were too much for the likes of Edwards and Hughes. Edwards probably didn't want Klopp 2.0 in terms of the power struggle. The sort of public pitch was it would have been too much of an overhaul in terms of stylistically between the 3-4-3 slots 4-2-3-1. It's Jurgen Klopp ball has been played throughout the club, and it would have been too much of an overhaul as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But what do you think in terms of the yes man label? Have we bought a yes man? Have we bought just a coach to sort of coach the team, do the training sessions, and let the big people upstairs run? Or do you think it'll stay? I think he'll still have a say, because if he doesn't, then what's the point of him being there? You'd rather give Michael Edwards the job on the bench. Surely he's part of the recruitment team where he approaches the likes of Hughes and Michael Edwards and says, okay, this is the kind of profile player that we're missing. And then they go, the William Spearmans of this world and the data team go back, run the numbers, and then come back to him and say, this is number 1, number 2, number 3, take your pick. Surely that's going to happen, because it wouldn't work otherwise, would it?
Najma?
Yeah, I think so. That's why they've got a coach who can get the maximum out of these players instead of getting someone like a Jose Mourinho or a Ruben Amorim who would demand give me the best players and I'll win you the league. So they've gone with a coach who can get the maximum output of them. And I've seen I've done some watch some videos on YouTube and stuff where people have said that he actually gets the best out of his players, and they usually the fan or and the AZ Alkmaar, they usually lose their players so that he will have to
Yes,
always get a
yes.
new player and improve them. So that's why I think they have gone with Arne Slot, and he'll be more like a you can say in some he's gonna be a yes man.
But to make this about Michael Edwards, because we did allude to it just briefly, do you think that's the only reason they got Slot, is because he is a yes. Well, I don't want to say he's a yes man, but someone that's not going to overhaul it. Jurgen Klopp was massive for Liverpool in terms of he always had final say in transfers, which is why Edwards and Ward, maybe that's why they left, and now they've come back as soon as Klopp is announced to leave. Like, the two things do add up, as much as they may not be true. I don't think there's a coincidence in that, because if you look at one side and look at the other side, it does connect. Like, it makes sense when you think about it. So maybe Michael Edwards has come back because he wanted that control and he wants to get the players he wants in. But as much as Asim says as well, Slot is obviously going to go to Edwards and Hughes and say, I want this player, or this profile of play. Maybe not I want this specific player, but I want this profile. And maybe they will come into some sort of agreement. But if not, do you think that's the reason he's given the head coach kind of role? Because he's a very, very tactically sound coach. He says he's taken nips and buds from Guardiola. The way he plays football with Final, they are very, very high statistically. We'll pull out some stats for you on the next show. But defensive actions, his team are very high. They score a lot of goals. They keep a lot of clean sheets. Defensively, they may not be as strong as, some of the Ajax and PSV generally. But do you think there's some sort of element in Slot coming in to maximize the potential of this? Because as you said before.
Yeah, I think so. Like, this is the case because see, they don't. I also think that they don't want someone to be like another club. I mean, that would be great for Liverpool, but yeah, you can see the power power struggle between those two. Like, there is nothing in media, and I think there will never be like this thing, because Liverpool are so good in these kind of things, in getting the information inside. Like, the information will not come, the news will not break into the media and stuff. So they have definitely gone with a person, there will never be such thing like in the Klopp case. Klopp actually became so powerful. Like, I'm not blaming him. He deserved that, but yeah, he actually became so powerful. Like, him and Linders were actually running our football operations as
Yeah.
backstage the last season. The guy that they got, what was his name? Schmatke or something. Yeah, like they got that. Yeah, so I think this is gonna be the case where Arnie will have his say. Like, he will actually be involved. He will eventually be involved in these things. But the final decision will be of, I think, Edwards. That's why they have got him. They have put the whole structure in place again. Got the band.
100%. I just want to ask you, Nigel, but just before you go, because Uncle Rod's has been waiting for a long time. Gomez has been doing the rounds this week. A few reports that he's open to leaving Liverpool. Do you think? What do you make of those rumors?
Might be true, but I don't want Gomez to go. He's like such a great utility player to have in your team. Like, we were playing great football when he was, playing at left back. Gave us a bit more stability. I mean, he will not go on those attacking runs like Robertson does, but defensively he's good. Like, he provides a much better balance, and also, like, I don't want him to go, but I think there can be some truth to it.
Do you think he falls into that category where he's not untouchable? There's a few untouchables, maybe, even though we like to say everyone's got a price. But do you think he goes into that category where Kelleher is, Diaz is, maybe Jota because of his injury, record? Who else is in there? Endo, maybe. I know he's only been there one season, but he's not that kind of midfielder that Michael Edwards brings to the club.
But I think Asim, Jota was a Michael Edwards signing, because Edwards was at the club when Jota was signed. It was 2020, because he left November 2021. Edwards. Jota was signed summer 2020.
Yeah, but how old is he now? 27, 28?
I think he's 27, I believe.
27, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but Sarib, the way you were nodding is you were probably just telling me that every single Liverpool player has a price this summer.
I think they do. I think there's not one player in that team that I would not say that's untouchable based on
McAllister.
age. If we got 150 million for McAllister, you won't sell him.
I know, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean by everyone has a price and you have to sell because it's too much of a stupid thingy. But we won't sell someone like
I know.
75, 80
I would
million.
sell McAllister, but I'm saying I don't think like Salah, if we got off of him, he's gonna we'll sell. Van Dijk got a 90 million pound bid came with Virgil van Dijk. I think we'll consider. I think 67 million for Alisson we will consider. I think if an offer of a Trent came up, but none of these players will leave the club, Asim, I will say, until they ask to leave. That's what I will say. So
Yeah,
until
but-
they
Yes.
ask to leave, that's
But
when
you'd class the likes of McAllister and
yeah,
Trent.
yeah,
as
yeah.
untouchable.
I get what you're saying as well. I get what you're saying as well. But like, for me, if McAllister performs badly next season, like really, really badly, that's what I'm alluding to as an untouchables. There's nobody that I would say is an untouchable because McAllister could be really bad next season or really, really good. Same with Trent, same with Salah in terms of his age, Virgil van Dijk. I don't care what you've done in the past. That doesn't bother me what you've done in the past. Football is about the now, and I want to win now. If you don't perform, you're out the door. It's very simple.
Yeah, but the offer would come in the summer, so you have to base it on last season, wouldn't you?
Okay, yeah. Okay. In terms of this summer, there's obviously some players we wouldn't be selling, like McAllister, Soboslai, etc., etc. But I'm talking about if the right offer came in for any player, I'm not opposed to it. Is what I meant. Sorry, I should have made myself a bit clearer.
Yeah, but we are not a club that sell players that don't want to go.
Yes, but we're also a club that sells our best players.
Yeah, that's the case. But I don't think like that we are selling a big four of Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent. I think the ones that will be going most probably will be Kelleher's, Diaz's, and Gomez of our team, and Fabio Carvalho as well, possibly.
Najmal, before you go, how many players are Liverpool bringing in this summer? Forget
Two
the
at max.
forget the exits. Forget the exits. How many players are Liverpool bringing in?
Two at max. I
Wow.
don't
Max.
I don't like this season, this time of Liverpool season, because they are like there is usually no news come no genuine news coming around. I don't like this this time of
It is a bit
Liverpool.
early though, isn't it, Najmal?
Yeah, I think two. I think two
But
max.
there's a Euros to come as well, Najmo. So maybe
Wow.
we won't get
Two
stuff
max.
until after the Euros as well. There's a Euros this summer. There's a Copa America.
Yeah,
Two
maybe. I like genuinely believe that I want me to be wrong, but I don't think that we are gonna get more than two players. That's
I
why they
hope
have brought a manager who can coach.
I hope you're wrong. I really hope you're wrong because
Yeah.
we need more. We need more. I think you're speaking with your mind rather than your heart, right?
Yeah, correct.
What does your
My
heart
heart
say?
wants four. My heart
Oh,
wants
Heart
four.
is about 6.
As much as you can get them, because the other 115ers have got a really big squad who can actually play. They can actually play two 11s together.
Yeah.
Two
That's
genuinely good 11s.
I hope so.
Najmal, thank you very much. How long are you in South Africa for?
I'm here till 30th of May. That's why that's why I'm able to join your streams, because when I'm in India, you guys stream around at 2:30 a.m. or 3:30 a.m.
Sorry.
Brilliant. Najmal, stay safe in South Africa and a safe journey home. Well, I'm sure we'll see you before then as well.
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant. Take
All
care.
right.
Bye-bye.
Salam.
Wassalam. Right here. Interesting points. He's always a great caller, Najmal, and
Let's
it's
get the
nice
big
to
man
see him.
himself on.
Let's get the big lad. It's been is Rods, is it your BNM debut?
Debut, bro. Debut.
A big
Listen.
welcome up to you, bro. Big up to you. And it's nice to see you. Oh, look, cause you're flipping hell. I'm gonna ban him. I've seen someone in backstage. bro.
Listen.
It's
What is
nice to see you. It's nice to see you, man. And it's a big welcome from myself and Sarib and from BNR.
Big up. Listen, I've watched your streams quite a few times. It's not the first time watching stream. I've watched it quite a few times. I've seen the backwards and forwards that you lot have.
Thank you very much,
It's all
bro.
been interesting and stuff. And there's two things before I start.
He's gonna
Number
troll.
one, yeah, Minos is a troll. Don't listen to what he says. He's a troll, man. I had him in my group. I got a group, yeah, and I had him in my group and everything. And I had to vacate him out of my group because he's a troll. Yeah. Right? No, seriously, I had to. Number two, listen, you guys are doing amazing stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, bro.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
Spreading
And
this-
if you want to give yourself a shout out and just let people know where they can find you, Rods, go for it, bro.
Oh yeah, I'll do that towards the end. I'll do it towards the
Okay,
end.
no problem.
And listen, you're doing amazing stuff, and keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing great stuff, and you're spreading love all over this world. So keep on doing what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? Very good stuff. I enjoy your content. Listen, you know what it is with FSG and everything that with FSG, you have to focus yourself on FSG and day, and you kind of like you have to look at what structure they are giving Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? What support they're giving Liverpool in order to win when you compare it to other teams. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
And I honestly think me and my friend talk, and he's got another channel. And me and me talk, and basically, day since FSG come in, they haven't really set us up to win. They set us up to complete, but they haven't set us up to win. If you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they came in, like, or obviously Kenny Dalglish won, you know, this Kenny Dalglish won the League Cup, and it took years after that for us to win anything again. Do you know what I mean? It's only when Klopp came in. Now, when Klopp came in and Klopp done bits, and honestly, I don't think at the day they didn't think Klopp was going to be this good. Do you know what I mean? Because what he done with a team and day, right, with the team that he had was amazing. What he done with them, do you know what I mean? He made some belief in the club again. He put some structure in the club. Do you understand what I'm getting at? So then you get to a situation and so like him and Michael Edwards don't get on. Yeah, they fell out and he's left. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Imagine that day you're working in sort of like for a company. I don't know what you guys are doing for a living, but imagine you're working for a company and you're putting up numbers for the company, but you're working along somebody and that you don't really like anything that, right? But you do your thing and you prove yourself and you're making bits for the company. This guy leaves at the end of the day, right? Imagine at the end of the day they're gonna bring this guy back now. Now this guy at the end of the day is gonna be in a higher position than what you are. So initially at the day, he's gonna be telling you what to do. Ain't you gonna feel betrayed and stuff? You know what I mean? Yeah. And look at the structure of what they brought in as like sporting director, Richard Hughes.
Do you think the club knew that Edwards was coming back before Klopp? So as much as it broke out in the news in like January, February time that Edwards was going to return, do you think it was already in the works before? So that's why maybe why Klopp is leaving the Liverpool?
Yeah, I do. I honestly do, my friend. I think at the day they made a decision at the day of what was going to happen with Edwards. My sort of like my thing, I mean, I'm not an oracle or anything like that, but what I'm thinking, what happened is at the day is like phone call between Michael Edwards and FSG. FSG wanted him back. They brought him back. Then they've actually spoke to Klopp and said to Klopp, listen, at the end of the day, Michael Edwards is coming back and he's going to be like a CEO. You know what I mean? And then like Klopp has said to them, like, meaning the guy don't get on. Why are you bringing him back? And they probably turned around to him and said, because this is the only reason why Klopp is doing what he's done and how he's done it. They've turned around to Klopp and said, look, at the end of the day, he's coming back. We're just telling you as a matter of courtesy. Do you know what I mean? And he probably thought, like, okay, if that's how going on, I'm off. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you see Klopp's energy at the beginning of the season, up until that time, and then he was like so full of energy. He said, look, at the day, you know what? I've got energy to go for another 10 years and all this and all that. And remember, he just recently signed a sort of like, a contract extension. You ain't going at the day anywhere unless something like that's happened, yeah? And you know what he did? He's taken all his staff, blood. He's taking everybody. So everything that he's built, he's just taking that with him. Do you know what I mean? So he probably feels at the day, like, literally probably feels like he's been stabbed in the back. Do you know what I mean? He's been stabbed in the back. But even like, right, look at the guy they're bringing in now, yeah? Right? They're supposed to bring in Amron. This is what they always do to us. They get us hyped up over one person at the day, whether it's a transfer or whatever. They hype us up over Amron, yeah? And so they're going to bring Amron in. They're bringing Amron in, right? And then at the last minute, they said, well, we're going to go a different direction. We're going to be brave, not predictable. And they're bringing Arnie at the end of the day. When you think about it, the leap from Feyenoord to Liverpool, to me, is too much a bigger gap. I got nothing against the fella. I've got nothing against him. Do you know what I mean, right? Because if I got offered a job where I'm getting paid so much thousands a week, and I'm going to take it. But if you look at the league between like Feyenoord and Liverpool, don't you think it's too much of a massive gap? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that, you think to yourself, well, are FSG and they setting up to be successful, or are they setting up just to complete so they can get money each and every year? Do you understand what I'm saying? Remember, if you're competing in the top 4, and in the top 4, you're getting money at the end of the day. Yeah, much less than not. You know what I'm saying? I think and they just set up to complete, and like Klopp's just thinking to himself, well, look, you know what I mean? You stab me in the back, I'm going at the end of the day. Yeah. Arnie, day, right? I just don't think at the day he's going to be able to take us to the lengths at the day that we want. Do you know what I mean? Because I just don't think he's got the experience. I could be wrong, and I want to be proven wrong. Don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening.
Sarib?
Yeah.
I can finish off. Rod.
No, got you.
Sarib, I was going to ask you what Rod is saying. I don't think is far fetched. And look, I'm not some sort of ITK. I do get bits of information, and there's a few people that are close to the club have been saying this exact thing, Sarib, that the moment that video came out of Klopp saying he's leaving, they've been telling me that something has gone wrong. This power struggle, they've known since November that, Klopp has not since known. Klopp told him that he's leaving since November. And they probably thought maybe he doesn't sign a new contract beyond 2026. And why would he leave? This guy is such a loyal servant to the club. And he didn't even honor his new contract. He didn't even go to the end of 2026. The hope was he would sign in 2028. There were reports that he might do negotiations started. I don't know how much of them were true, but ultimately he didn't fulfill his term of the contract. And surely call it a conspiracy. I don't think this is a conspiracy. I think it's very, very plausible where they approached him, especially when you consider their stance on this Super League. They thought the Super League is going to come. It didn't come in. Then this multi-club ownership, they fell behind Manchester City already. They've got 12 clubs that they own. And this loophole now is the multi-club ownership. They've always publicly really been praiseworthy of the Red Bull model. So they need to jump on the bandwagon. If they're not selling, they keep on getting investment into Liverpool, and they're not outright selling Liverpool as a club, then they have to make sure they look into other avenues. And who better than Michael Edwards to lead this multi-club ownership? And then this relationship was a broken one. If you saw that press conference, maybe Klopp isn't Antonio Conte to throw his toys out of the pram. But we have to go by subtle hints where someone asked him, I think it might have been Ian Doyle or James Pearce in one of the presses, and said, look, Michael Edwards is coming in. Is he going to ask you for your advice? And he said, Michael Edwards isn't dumb. And the way I interpret that is that our relationship is broken down. So why, he's not stupid to come to me. And just like Rods said that, we have to, and Sarib, you touched on it as well. There's too many things pointed in that direction where there was a complete breakdown of relationship between Edwards and Klopp. And look at the Julian Ward exit. 6 months into his job, he couldn't do his job. He was trained up by Michael Edwards. He probably thought, you know what, give it a go. Let's see what happens. And ultimately, the data team was bringing the information to the likes of Klopp and Linders, and they went with their eyes and feelings rather than the data metrics. So you can talk about Bruno Guimaraes being, offered, proposed to him, Mohamed Kudus. So, and then the likes of Diaz and Gakpo. So these sort of things resulted in a breakdown relationship. Julian Ward left after 6 months. And the moment that they tell Jurgen Klopp that this guy is going to be the main man to lead us into a new era, that was the moment where Jurgen Klopp, shook hands and said, "Look, I'm leaving."
And I think Rod's uncle, I'll let you go in a second. I think that makes what you said. I want to give you credit because it does make a lot of sense to me. And I think everyone's been trying to figure out. Klopp's come out because I don't think he's not a type of manager to throw his players and the glove. Because as much as he might not agree with the owners, because he has made hints. I wish we could have spent a bit more money. I
Yeah.
didn't have the luxury.
Yeah.
He has said in his press conference as well. So again, if you're looking at what he said when Michael Edwards returned, saying he's not dumb, you look at that little spat he said about in his press conference, it does allude to me that something has gone on behind the scenes with the ownership and the Edwards kind of saga that has made him, come out. And he's not a type of manager to throw the business under the cosh, throw the club under the cosh. Because as much as he might agree that he loves Liverpool, you can see he loves Liverpool. He wants the best for Liverpool, and he thinks him leaving is the best for Liverpool because maybe next season he goes into next season, Edwards and Klopp will have a spat on players, and it just will cause turmoil in the dressing room. I think Jurgen Klopp is a very honourable man, and FSG have no loyalties to us. They're not Liverpool fans. They're business owners. Their main job is to make as much money for the business as possible, regardless of what happens on a football pitch. And that's something no one will agree with, and because we love Liverpool. So FSG, what they're doing is a good job for them, but not for the footballing side, because they're making money, but they're leaving us short, which is why that problem will never be addressed. That's why they've brought Michael Edwards back in, because he makes them money. And again, I alluded to it with the multi-club ownership. Michael Edwards is a money printing machine. You see it with the sales of Solanke, Jordan Ibe, Brad Smith. He made a lot of money for FSG just from transfers alone. Danny Ings, he negotiated all these deals and brought in players cheaper. And he was a money printing scheme for FSG. And they've offered him now a CEO role, a role that he always wanted, more control of the transfers. And maybe even the stuff with Michael Edwards wasn't agreed in November, but I think the idea was portrayed to Klopp. He didn't agree with it. And he said, we agreed in the summer that there will be no Michael Edwards returning. And now you're even talking about it. I'm gone. And they said, okay, he's not gone. We're going to bring him back. And I think that's what's happened. So too many things add up, Uncle. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Another thing of what we got to forget. You know that guy, we had a right back, didn't we? A Dutch right back. Can't remember his name. But he went to Wolves.
Oh, yeah. Keanu Hoover.
That's it. I couldn't remember his name. Him. Remember he went for 10.5 million.
Yeah. Wasn't he part of the Jota deal at the same time?
I think it was separate.
Similar time, wasn't it?
He was and he wasn't, because I think what isn't they already agreed that they could pay 45 million for Jota. Do you know what I mean? And I think they paid it part off and everything that. And I think so like Keanu Hoover was just sweetening the deal as it were. You know what I mean? So you could probably say it was kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like just to touch on what you said at the day, sort of like this, like because it's spot on. I haven't heard anybody really that's put it the way that you just put it. And it's 100% right, my friend. 100% right. Now, you got to look at the structure of what they're having now at Liverpool with Michael Edwards as a CEO. Yeah, it's more Americanized. Because what's going to happen now is Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes are going to be finding the players and signing the players. Along with their scout, they got Mark Burchill. Yeah, finding the players, signing the players. Then what they're going to do is this guy Arnie that's coming in. He's not going to be a manager. He's going to be a head coach. Yeah. So really and truly, they're going to sign the players in there and just give it to him and said, right, you know what, coach this guy to go on and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? They've gone back to that Moneyball system. Do you understand what I'm saying? So exactly what you're saying at the day, we're becoming Americanized. The only problem with that is at the day, if they find and sign a player and tell him to give it to Arnie, what if that player does not fit that guy Arnie's system? What do you do then? Do you know what I mean? And when things don't work out, it's not Michael getting the blame. It's not Richard getting the blame. It's not even Mark getting the blame. It's Arnie getting the blame.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So what you just said today is 100% spot on. I can't disagree with anything that you said, and it makes perfect sense. But
Rods, don't you think the pressure has just gone up a few notches on Michael Edwards and his team? Because if you're going to go all in around the structure, around the manager, and not bring a manager going by the titles and go by a head coach, then you need to make sure you get it right as much as the manager needs to get it right. And maybe they've sort of lessened the risk, looked at his style, very similar to Jurgen Klopp, albeit a lot more structured and build-up, which it can only mean a good thing. But he ticks a lot of boxes in terms of...
But the only problem with that is, you're right what you're saying. The only problem is Arnie is the one that gets seen. He's the one that gets 100%.
Seen. He's the face, isn't he? He's the face.
He's going to be the face of all of it. Because remember the day, he's on the touchline at the day, right? Expecting to get results in the day, right? Yeah. And like they're not seeing Michael Edwards, they're not seeing Richard, because not many people know about the new structure. Not many people know, and not many people can break it down at the day. I'm not saying that we're clever and everybody's stupid, but not many people can break it down as how we broke it down. So naturally, at the day, they're going to look at Arnie and going to say, "Well, look, Arnie's come in and everything now. You said at the day you want this job. You said at the day that you're going to be at Liverpool. So they're looking at you. They look at the Michael Edwards, Richard and Mark. They're looking at him, even though at the end of the day, sort of like, with the greatest of like appreciation, to him and, giving him a structure. Do you know what I mean? Put it this way, when it goes bad, they look at him. When it goes good, they look at him. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Do you know what I mean?
I see what you mean, but if Liverpool are languishing or odds in 6th or 7th position, I think Arnie will get it, but also the scrutiny will be, upstairs as well.
It could be, but in going by recent experience and everything, we all know at the end of the day, FSG's been behind a lot of the downfall of Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? We could have been better. Could have been much more better than what we have. We could have won much more than what we had if we had the right backing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah,
of course.
You know what I mean? All right, because we know at the day that sort of like the Klopp at the day, he knows players at the day. Yeah, look at now and everything that he's getting the blame for Darwin Núñez at the day. You know what I mean? Saying that they know, that's a Klopp signing because it's gone bad. Because it's gone bad in the day. Yeah, that's a Klopp signing.
But at least,
we want something else.
But at least, Rods, no one can say that's an Arnie slot signing. It's always going to be Edwards or Richard Hughes now.
Yeah, but people are going to look at him, regardless of what happens. That's what I'm trying to say. Regardless of what happens, whether it's good or whether it's bad, looking at Arnie. And Michael Evans knows that. He knows that. Do you know what I mean?
I think we're speaking on the general, like generic fan. I think it's a flawed term, but generally, supporters don't care about what happens upstairs. They're going to see the football be playing on the pitch because they're going to say football is a simple game, even though it's not, because you have to look at structure. But fans are going to look at it and think, we're playing shit with a new manager coming in and he's brought his players in. Get rid of him, because it's easier. Again, it's easier to get rid of one man than Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, Birchall. Right. So that's why it's all going to fall on him. Whatever happens, the failings of Liverpool next season are going to fall on the manager, even though he may not be to blame. Maybe parts of it because he's setting up the team. Michael Edwards is not a football coach. He's a data man, an analyst, whatever he is, CEO. Yeah. Everything is going to be on Arnie's slot. And I think that's why they brought head coach in, because it'll be easier to depart ways with him. That's why the title of manager has not been alluded to him. But the general fan base, the top reds are going to call him and they're going to call him out. They say, but he was never this bad on the Jurgen Klopp, because they won't understand what's going on behind the scenes. And I think that it's very important that we make that very evident to everyone, because he is not basically in charge on his slot. He is.
Yes.
He's not in charge. He's ranked, as much as he's coaching the team, he is below what's upstairs. And that's what people need to understand very, very quickly as well.
I feel, isn't it? I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry.
If it goes wrong,
I do feel, because really at the day, he's coming into a situation at the day, right? No disrespect to him, he's coming into a situation that is bigger than him. And for that, because we are, listen, at the day, right? No matter what we do in the day, we still are the most successful British team in history, and that's never going to change. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, he's coming from Feyenoord, yeah, right, and coming to the most successful British team in it for that with relatively no experience. Do you know what I mean? So I literally feel sorry for him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's only like people and they that I hate to make people sound stupid again, because they're not stupid. But it's only people and they with experience of like what is actually going on at the club are gonna know it, and well, it's not just him.
But don't you think, Rod?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know what you mean, but just to play devil's advocate, and I actually believe this is true as well. Don't you think it can go the other way as well, where he's albeit it's in the Dutch league, but at that level he's ticked a lot of boxes. He can create, he can lose his players, he can create and develop youngsters, lose his best players, but still compete. AZ and Feyenoord, he's had relative success, and he's proven to be a winner. In Feyenoord's case, I think when he was at AZ, when the league got cancelled during COVID, I think he was 1 point behind or level of points.
No, he's level on points,
He's
but
level on points.
Ajax was ahead by a goal
But
difference.
if you look at the data, Rods, my point is it
Mm.
can go the other way where
It can, yeah.
structure and data are going to back this manager. Whatever he lacks in experience, the data will support him in terms of reducing that risk, in terms of that player getting it wrong. So the style of play, the profile of player, what type in terms of his metrics will all point towards a successful career at Liverpool.
I tell you what. I hope I'm wrong. I want to prove wrong. That's one
Look,
thing.
this is your hunch, isn't it? And that's your opinion.
Yeah. Just say hope I'm proved wrong, because if I'm proved wrong, that's going to be for the betterment of the team that I love.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I hope I'm wrong and I think that. But what I'm saying today, I would have rather a person today come in with more experience than what he's got, because I think to manage Liverpool or coach Liverpool, however way he's position is, do you know what I mean? You need somebody that's got a lot more experience than what he has. But
Ross, I think it's very important to allude to that Slot wasn't Liverpool's first choice. From what we know, they went for other targets first. Alonso, that they met with Amorim before.
Fourth choice, isn't it? Fourth choice. Remember the day.
Who's the third choice? Who's the third choice?
De Zerbi.
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to say. Because it was basically it went for Alonso, Amorim, De Zerbi.
De Zerbi was ruled out from early, I think.
Huh?
I think De Zerbi, even though David Ornstein from day one was saying that he doesn't really fit the type of profile of manager.
He was he's on a list that of people that was going to talk to and was going to interview. I mean, towards the time and the day, it was he signed another contract with Brighton and from that, so he was out the picture and from that. And then you got to look at sort of Gary O'Neill and they from Wales and they he was supposed to have had an interview as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't their number one choice. Do you know what I mean? I'm hope I'm proved wrong. You understand, my friend? I'm hope I'm proved wrong, because that's going to be the betterment of Liverpool Football Club, the team that I love. But I think that day we've got to this, we got to the part again now and day where we deserve and demand a certain standard for the club, a certain standard of how this club should be run. And I think at the day, right, when it comes to that, we haven't got that. Do you know what I mean? We've either got the manager, not the right structure, not the manager. Do you know what I mean? It's either be one or the other. We haven't really got it all together. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, I know what you mean. Rods, if it wasn't Alonso, obviously he ruled it himself out. Who would you have chosen?
Amorim. All day long. Because I think, you know what it is, what you got to look at it, and Amorim would have come in with a different style of playing. And I think what is it, and then when you sort of change your manager, you have to sort of change up the way you play, new tactics and all sorts. You know what I mean? Arnie plays literally kind of like Klopp. You know what I mean? 4-2-3-1, 4-4-3-3. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he plays with. So you're not really getting anything different at the day from Klopp. So if you're not getting anything different from Klopp, the same kind of problems that you got with Klopp, you're going to get with him. You understand? Do you know what I mean? So you wanted something that's different. Do you know what I mean? Something different and not afraid to try new things and more experience at the day. Because remember at the day, he was a Braga B team. Yeah, they were so impressed with him, they brought him to Braga, the first team at the day. In that same season, he won the cup, knocking out sort of Sporting Lisbon in the final, I do believe. And that's when Sporting Lisbon came in for him, and then he, obviously done bits at Sporting Lisbon. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We deserve somebody a bit more experience in there. And I just don't think they've gone for that. I think they've gone for more, I'm not being funny, I think they've gone for more yes man than a sort of person that's going to come in and demand standards and that. I think they've gone for yes man. Because you know what, isn't they? Arnie's done this twice now. When he was with AZ, right? You know what I mean? And then Final was looking at him and he said, yeah, I'm going to be a final manager, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? That's snake business and everything that, because AZ sacked him because of that. He's gone to final now, and as soon as he had Liverpool's coming in for him, he's done the same thing. So I don't think those sort of people are loyal. I feel it in day sort of he could be doing 1 or 2 seasons a day, right? And Bayern Munich get a sniff of him, and then they say, right, you know what? You want to come over here? And he said, yeah, I'm going. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to see.
It is a fair argument. You've done it before.
Yeah, exactly. So
you have to understand that the jump from AZ to Feyenoord and the jump from Feyenoord to Liverpool is a big difference, isn't it?
It's a big difference, but what I'm trying to say, if a person could sort of, a leopard don't change his spots, you know. It's
wrong.
true, you know.
He's not wrong.
No, you know what I mean? If you know a person's done something like that once, and twice in the day, you have to be wary that he's going to do it again, you know. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I mean, like, put it this way, in the day, right? All right, Bayern
Bro,
Munich.
we got caught with Van Dijk in Blackpool.
Was it? I know, but boy, don't watch that. Don't watch that. I know you're saying though, but since then we ain't done it again, have we? We just got our fingers burnt. We ain't done it again. But this guy done it twice, mate. You know what I mean? But yeah, so you listen. Listen. We have to see how it works out. I'm gonna take a sabbatical for a while because what is it now? I'm trying to set up another channel in a day, right? So
Rod, have you got a channel? Have you got a channel?
Yeah, Anfield Uncle Rods on YouTube.
Wow. Is
I've got
is that the channel in, yeah?
Yeah, I got like
Put your
2,000 subscribers.
type your link into the chat. All the chat, go over, smash a like, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get it still. Yeah,
you know, show some love and support to the brother, man. Whilst you're doing that, Rods, I'm gonna add you mentioned the word experience. I'm gonna add a bit of experience to the chat through Mr. Adnan. Adnan, you're living in the dark. We're all living in the dark at the moment. Turn the light on. It can't be that bad.
I don't know.
How are you doing, Adnan? What's going on?
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa salam. How's
So what's
things?
wrong with my camera? I think that's why it's not coming up.
It's okay. It's okay. As long as we can hear you well, and we can.
How
What's
you, brother?
happening?
You
You've
okay?
been listening to. Yeah, we're all right, as best as we
Alhamdulillah.
can be. But what do you make of Uncle? His thoughts. First, he was talking about Klopp basically got stabbed in the back. Your thoughts on that first?
Well, we won't know what's really happened in it. I think there's a lot of it being said and what hasn't been said. There's a lot of things that we can assume that's happened. There's probably has been some problems. I think it's probably just stem from Edwards coming back. It could have been because I've never seen Klopp's history where he's always abide by his contract. He's never gone before a contract has finished. This is the first time in his managerial history where he's gone before his contract's finished.
Hmm.
Even with the Dortmund where he had problems there, he still stayed for that last season. Because if you remember, they could have sacked him because he had a really bad start there as well. He was basically just going for numbers, but he made sure that he finished his contract. So I think something has happened in the background where something hasn't worked out because I don't think Klopp would have wanted to go the way he has because he's been loyal to us from day one anyway. But when he first arrived to our club, for where we were, for the journey that he has given us, it's been unbelievable. Everything has to go and come, done it. So we've had our enjoyments with Klopp, and we have to move on. It's one of them things in football you can't have. In football now, it's more short-term success than long-term. You're gonna have to have your 4 or 5 years that you've got and then move on because Premier League it just takes out of you. It's not the same what it used to be. There's a lot of teams at the bottom who can compete now as well. Money's more high. Every team's getting more money. So I think unless you're like Guardiola, I doubt it. You're not gonna get Guardiola and Klopp type of managers anymore. If you look out there, there isn't many managers who are going to be like them type of managers, can last that long. The way management is going is going to be short term, 4 or 5 years, move on to the next one that's coming up. Because there's the managers that are coming now is too much pressure for them. And a lot of people are asking for immediate success. Like Raj was saying earlier. I think Amram was a good thing, but I think he tried to do a sneaky thing where he went to West Ham. I think that's why I think Amram was the head of slot. I definitely think Amram was ahead of slot. But I think something's happened in the background where FSG said, no, "You're not doing that with us."
I think when he got onto the private jet and went to West Ham, I think Liverpool basically told him. I don't think this was Amorim trying to put pressure on Liverpool. I think Liverpool said no to him a week or 2 weeks before.
I think before he went on that jet, sorry to cut across you, I think before he went on that jet, he knew it and day, so like that his job at Liverpool was in doubt. Because I think they had a meeting before And I
Correct.
think what he wasn't there, he told him what he wanted in the day.
Yeah.
What he wanted in the day, obviously, it was going to be 20 million. Do you know what I mean? But he wanted like control over like the transfers and so forth. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what it was at the day, FSG or whoever wasn't going to go for that. Do you know what I mean? So he thought, well, you know what, West Ham might be interested. You know what I mean? Let me go and see West Ham. Do you know what I mean? So I honestly thought before he got on that plane,
Yes.
he knew at the day, well, look, this still ain't gonna go ahead with Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Because who are you gonna choose at the end of the day? No disrespect to West Ham, because I got a lot of West Ham mates. You know what I mean? Yeah. But what I'm saying, when you think about it, who would you choose, West Ham or Liverpool? Come on now, seriously, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a no-brainer. I think what is with with Slot as well, I think they've gone for their type of manager where the players that they used to, when Klopp first came, if you look at Edward when he bought Klopp in first, he did start buying players that would suit Klopp's system. I think that when Edwards went from the club, Klopp was trying to get more of his type of players. Because
I
if
think
you
that's
look
why
at this,
I think that's why he left it, man.
yeah, that's why Edwards left, because I think that Edwards thought this is not going to work for us. Because if you look at it, the signings that Edwards did compared to the signings that Klopp did afterwards,
Yeah.
Edwards signings were much more better. If you look at it,
Yeah.
we had better players coming in. We had better, rhythm with the player that Klopp wanted to play. Some of these players were like nobodies, but if you look
Yeah.
at afterwards, they were superstars.
Yeah.
Klopp didn't actually want Salah. He wanted what was his name from Germany?
Julian Brandt.
Yep,
Brandt.
he wanted Brandt. So if you look at it, there's certain players that Edward was looking at, because what is with Edwards, I think he has like a database with him and that Hughes. They'll have a database of certain players that, and I've looked a bit of a Slot thing as well. Slot, if you look at the five, there was a thing on YouTube. They were saying 5 leagues turnovers that turn into the goals. He was higher than Manchester City as well. So
Wow.
this guy,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
guy has this
sorry.
this guy has got some football. We got to give him time. In his first season, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, he's coming, he's going to win us everything. No, his first season is try get domestic cup, stay in top 4, and then build on that, because
Yeah.
Premier League is going to be hard while Guardiola's here. No one's getting it. I don't think.
Do you think Adnan, that's why he's been given a 3-year contract? Because to me, it's like there's low risk in that. So first year,
Yes.
it's developing. Second year, maybe a couple of signings and push on. And third year, go and win the title. And then based on that 3-year performance, we're gonna either offer you a new deal or we're gonna depart ways with you. Because I don't know what Klopp was offered when he first came into Liverpool. But he was 2022, I believe his contract was going to expire. I don't know. I don't know the details. But
didn't he get offered didn't Klopp come and got offered a 5-year contract, didn't he?
I'm not too sure, but I think 3-year contract.
Yeah, he got a 5 years straight away, I think, Klopp.
Yeah, because he come in 2015, didn't he? Come in 2000.
Yeah, he got a 5-year when he first
I think the job warranted a 5-year contract at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at the team that Klopp come in and look at the team that Slot's getting.
Yeah,
There's a much more difference.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what? It is in the day, right? I'll say one thing before I have to get off. Yeah, one thing in the day I'm gonna miss Klopp, because at the day he just like, there's so many special moments in the day that you have with Klopp at the club. I mean, look at remember the Norwich game in his first season when Alana scores the last goal.
Yeah.
He runs, he goes, come here, and he was hugging on the line. You know what I mean? Then
Glasses were going all over the place.
oh, then they had to like the Origi one. Do you know what I mean? When he runs on the pitch and hugs Alisson. I mean, listen, even the Norwich one in the day, I still get goosebumps when I see that. I still get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Listen,
Look at Jurgen Klopp.
yeah, it's like Carragher said, look at Klopp. But like, what it is in there. Listen, at the end of the day, right? You know what I mean? I don't wish anything bad on this guy. All I will say at the end of the day, right, he's coming in like a club in the day where he hasn't got the experience. Listen, it could work out, do you know what I mean? Or it could not work out. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna work out, but I want to be proved wrong. I want to be proved wrong, because
I think every job that you take, there is always a risk with the manager. It doesn't matter who you get.
there's risk. Yeah, there's risk. There's minimum risk, and there's a lot of risk. And I think what it is with my man Amran is a lot of risk in there. Do you know what I mean? And
I think, I think with the Portuguese and the Dutch, they're more similar leagues, aren't they? You've got the top two teams.
Portuguese better than that, mate.
They've got the top two teams. That's it.
Nah,
But you only got two. They've only got top two teams, though, aren't they?
The Portuguese league at the day is better than that, mate. Come on, man. Benfica, Porto, Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, all they've got in Holland at the day is Ajax.
Braga, you got Braga.
Ajax,
Braga's good as well. Yeah, Braga's good as well.
Feyenoord, and Eindhoven is the same thing. The top three teams are.
I know. PS3, I know. PS3, I know. Ain't been doing bits for a while. It's like they've just come back again.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm
saying, boy, but a little club that man. You want to go Portuguese league, a bad league enough. But I hear what you're saying.
Boys, we were gonna wrap up, but I've got a bit of Kloppitis within me as well. I'm really loyal to my Jordan Hendersons and Genie Wijnaldums.
Oh.
How can I end the show when Albert Bofo is in the house? How can I end the show?
Let me, Asim, let me reject the theory that I represent a supporters version of Henderson. I don't move, and I don't stand in the way of goal-bound shots.
So I think Uncle needs to go.
I've got to go.
Thank you very much for coming on, Uncle.
Rod, if you message us, Rod, on Twitter or myself or Sarib, and then we'll invite you on further shows as well, bro.
Definitely. Listen, big up Uncle, big up you guys, you man, you're doing a very, very good job. Do you know what I mean? Big up Adrian as well. Big up to you.
Adrian.
Adrian?
Adnan.
Adnan, sorry.
He's going to be Kelleher. You call him Kelleher.
Adnan, sorry, my mistake. My apologies.
That's okay.
It's all right.
Big up the
I get that call all the time.
Big up the fan base. Take care.
Thank you for coming on.
Big up, man.
Big up.
Unks, what's happening? You're not in the bathroom today. That's a good start.
I wanted to just touch on something really briefly. You see, and Asim, you are one of the guys, and of course, Sarib, of course, you are one of the people who believe in the data novelty that exists with football and all that.
I believe in my eyes. I believe in what I see.
No, but I listen to you a lot. It's a mixture of both. You see, the people in our ranks who selected Annie Slot instead of Amorim, they were proven right by Amorim's behavior. Taking the plane and going to West Ham to put pressure on us. They were proven right.
But do you believe that theory, Albert? I think we told him no a long time ago. We met with him and his representatives a lot earlier.
I don't think so. It was a move to put pressure on us.
Really?
Look, you know why I know that? You know why I know that? Notice that it didn't even take six hours after he pulled that move, then the odds quickly shortened on Annie Slot, and all our usual press started going with, we might go for Slot, we might go for Slot. Even the day before, go back and check the odds on Slot. They were going for Amorim. But that stunt he pulled, you know, our man Edwards is as ice in his veins. He wasn't going to be. I mean, if you're trying to put pressure on him before he appointed you, what will happen after he appoints you? So I think that's the reason why that happened. And I am willing to give him a chance. You see, I did say earlier on Grizzly's show that there's a structural imbalance in Liverpool. It's probably too late for us to go into that, but I think Sarib knows exactly what I'm talking about. Asim, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the coach needs to sit down with the players and address that structural imbalance. Because if he doesn't address it, it doesn't matter how much money FSG gives him. We still won't get anywhere. We'll forever be the bridesmaids. The coach has to address that uncomfortable conversation that exists in Liverpool. They have to have it. The players need to come around, and each person who is doing what knows what to do, when to do what. And here is my thing. Liverpool need to go with the trend and get themselves 4 massive centre backs to play at the back. 4 big boy centre backs to play at the back. The era of playing these bomb forward or what do you call it, inside invert, never to be found, void creating fullbacks is long gone. Right? You need those guys. You need them, especially on set pieces. How often have we seen Veg as the only person running around trying to be the person who's taking on all these huge 6 foot 10-inch monsters trying to score goals on us? We need to get some of those big boys as well. We need
We saw it against Everton, Albert. We were
exactly
dominated in the air.
Exactly. You know, when Calvert-Lewin went up in the air, I thought he was going to go to Dubai and come back and the ball would still be there for the head. Okay. We also need to get some bad-ass defensive midfielders. You know, a proper halfback in the mode of a proper halfback. You can't compete with people who have Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Jorginho.
Give me one name though, Albert. Give me one name.
You mean a name as a defensive midfielder? There's one person who comes to my mind consistently. It's Guimaraes.
Bruno.
He's not a destroyer.
He's a hybrid.
He's not a destroyer.
You see, we don't want.
No, but with the slot is a pivot in
the pivot, it could work.
Yeah, in a pivot,
we need a guy who wants the ball.
He doesn't. No, come on. He doesn't add the physicality to our side. You've just been saying we need 4 defenders, we need proper midfielders, and then you give me Bruno Guimaraes.
Okay. I think he's very physical when he needs to be. But
so is McAllister.
No, McAllister is not strong.
McAllister does not.
Strength.
Huh?
It's about being strong. McAllister is not very good when it comes to having to absorb tackles and going in for tackles. Okay, so
Bruno Guimaraes is not a defensive 6.
Okay,
I thought you would have said that.
What do you think about Kone?
Asim, let me just put it mildly. Let me just put it mildly, right?
He's got potential.
I thought you would have said João Palhinha.
Yeah, I'll take João Palhinha all day. Right? I also think it was a mistake for us not to complete the Andre Trinidad move. We should have completed it. But as usual, the petulance took over. Put it this way, you don't replace Fabinho with Endo. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I'm very sure that some people have been identified and they should go ahead and do it. And then we also have to have a conversation about Nunes. Dude has missed 30 big chances. He's made 46 big chances. 22 of those chances were created for him by Mohamed Salah. He's been offside 30 times. He's hit the post 9 times. That's not a Liverpool striker. That's an Accrington Stanley striker. So we need to have a conversation about him. Okay? The coach needs to make a decision about Nunes. We've given him 2 years. I have been, and you know that I've been one of his biggest defenders. I decided to get off that damn Titanic the day he squared that ball across the goal when we're playing Manchester United. That's it. If you do that when we're playing Manchester United, I'm off.
Unks, what did you call it? A dumb Titanic?
Yeah, Titanic. I'm off. Right?
No, stay on it.
You know what I'm saying?
Unks, cling onto that ship. You never know.
You know what happened to
don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Cling on to those who clinged onto the ship. They went down with the ship. I ain't going there.
Get a life jacket on.
You were on that ship.
Get a life jacket.
You were on that
Make sure you're
he was on that ship. He was on that ship, Albert. That Liverpool.
Where's that ship? When I was in secondary school, my housemaster in the boarding house used to tell me a brave man is a man who knows when to run, because there are many heroes in the cemetery. Like I'm not joining the heroes in the cemetery who are going to die on their sword, waiting for Nunes to come good. Nunes ain't fucking coming good.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Nunes ain't coming good. I gave him 2 years of my life. That's enough. I wouldn't even give a marriage 2 years of my life to come good.
Okay. So if you're dumping Nunes, where are you going?
You suck.
Napoli, Osman.
You know, our brother Moin did some analysis. Okay. Any data analysis, any metrics you do on Nunes it doesn't sit right. The sooner we cut him and cut our losses, the better. Do you know that Nunes is slightly above Timo Werner in shot conversion? He is the third worst striker in our league.
We also wanted Werner. We also wanted Timo Werner. That's what's funny.
Exactly. If you are only slightly better than Timo Werner, you should be playing for Accrington fucking Stanley. Right? Listen, Liverpool is a big team, my brothers and sisters. Liverpool want to win things. Liverpool is not content. If you're a Liverpool supporter, you are not content with being second and third. The difference between the other guys that we are contesting and now and us is today, when Man City needed to slam Wolves, what did they do? Their striker came alive and scored 4 times. I bet you if it was us and we needed to win, Darwin would have missed 4 sitters. Right? Even
here's a question for you, Unks. Here's a question for you, and you can come in as well, Adnan. There's a question, not this one. This one.
Yeah, it may work. That's what the coach needs to decide. But for Nunes as our main goal poacher, we need to get off that shit. Asim, you and I were both in the stadium the day we played Newcastle on New Year's Day. How many sitters did Nunes miss? Tell me, how many?
Quite a few.
Newcastle.
8. I counted 8.
Against Newcastle.
Yes, against Newcastle. Remember?
Yeah.
I was completely mortified. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? So, you know what? But at that time, even at that time, I was willing to give him time. Now, after that Manchester United debacle, that 5-on-2, he was put through. Darwin cut the ball back to Diaz or put the ball in the net, and he managed to do option 3, none of the above. He put the ball across the pole. You know what? Enough is enough. I'm done with him. Because all of you in this stream, you know what happens when Darwin gets the ball. You know he won't score.
Oh, man.
So tell me, when Darwin gets a 1-on-1, what do? You go to the toilet and you go and pee. You will come back knowing that the score will be the same. Right? It's okay, it's enough. We're tired. Right? We're tired. It's enough. For 84 million pounds, we deserve better. 84 million freaking British King Charles.
Albert, yeah, you speak to Asim. I've said sell Nunes for a long time. Asim has said he'd have Nunes over Isak.
He what? Your show should be prescribed. Banned.
No. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Adnan, are you even gonna stumble up the courage to even defend Darwin Nunes in front of Unks? Or are you doing with him as well?
I'll keep him as a backup. I wouldn't start him. I would have a proper number 9. If you look at the sitters that he's missed this season, we could have still been in this title race if he put them chances away. You look at the games that really cost us. Against Man United in the FA Cup, they missed sitters. Man United in the league, we missed sitters. Every game that we this season, we missed sitters. We could have still been in this title race. We could have still been winning some trophies.
Luton.
So at the end of the day, you have to go by scoring goals. He's not doing enough. So what would I do? Put him on the bench, let him learn. Get a proper number 9 and let him. You might never know. Next season he might bang in. Because with Slot as well, he goes with a lone striker, 4-2-3-1. I think he plays more. I don't think Darwin will be able to play in that kind of system. If he's going to be the number 9, then yeah, he'll start. But he's going to miss too many sitters for us.
But who do we bring in, Unks? Do you really realistically think Liverpool?
Ivan Toney.
He's 28, 29.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't bet on that, Unks.
No, I'm not betting on it.
I would go for Napoli's striker, Osimhen.
He's going to be 100 million.
Osimhen.
Yeah, but if you want to win the league, you have to spend money.
Sitting there.
Well,
Listen,
no, I take him.
I'm from Ghana.
Asim, you have to go for money. You have to go for players that are worth it.
No, I understand that. I'm also thinking.
Adnan, listen to me, Asim, listen to me for a moment. I am from Ghana. I'm from West Africa. I am telling you that don't go and buy Osimhen. You know why? because
Why?
he's not 26 years old. Take it from me. I'm telling you that right now. You people went to buy Keita. You did all the data metrics. You did all the. He was supposed to be the best going concern in Europe. None of you knew that he wasn't really the age he said he was.
But there are
Because
also, yeah.
because we, as a Negroid person of African descent, you can't tell me that when I'm 26 years old, I'm having a receding hairline. It doesn't fucking happen. I'm telling you right now. Right? So as soon as you go and bring Osimhen, welcome to Hamstringville. Okay? Welcome to the sausage fucking factory. Every freaking day at the weather in Liverpool, he gets a hamstring all fucking day. I'm telling you, he's not. Look, I can
There's
bring
some
you to
reports about
Ghana.
Diaz as well.
Asim, I can bring you to Ghana on the next flight from Heathrow. You land here. I'll take you to the births and deaths registry. I'll call you Matilda. I'll say you're 5 years old and I'll get you the birth certificate and passport. I'm telling you that right. Sarib, you get to be called Jennifer. You are 2 years old. You're called Jennifer. I'll get you a passport. In our part of the world, changing identities is very easy. Osimhen is not 26 years old. I'm telling you that right now. Please don't ask me any more questions. Don't ask me about
Okay, give me a so
don't
Tony,
ask me about any Ghanaian players. I'm not going to answer any more questions about that.
No, but Tony Unks, 28.
What about Mbappe?
Well, you can't afford Mbappe. And Mbappe comes with his own set of indiscipline. I don't want Mbappe in our team.
Yeah,
I'm saying we should take
you
we
have to
should
take
go
the best player in the world. But look, that's not realistic. We're not going to game. Simple.
I think we should go all in for either Isak or Watkins.
Watkins?
Well, Watkins is also 28.
That's true.
I'll take Tony. You know why I'll take Tony?
I would as well, to be honest. I would.
You know,
I'll tell you why I'll take
injury
Tony.
record, Sarib, is not great, you know.
I know.
I'll tell you why I'll take Tony. Because it is my conviction that apart from Harry Kane, Ivan Toney is the most complete English striker out there. Because he can drop deep.
Yeah, that's not far-fetched as well. Yes,
right? And for me, a striker who can drop deep is a very dangerous striker. Karim Benzema comes to mind. That, and he is a fantastic finisher. We need somebody to finish. Listen, Asim, Sarib, aren't you guys willing for that Robbie Fowler kind of player, that Michael Owen kind of player, that you can close your eyes and you know he's going to get the job done?
They're a rare breed now, Unks.
Yeah, let's go find them. Let's go find them. They're out there, bro. They're out there. I'm tired.
I think Edwards will find someone. He's
Let's
got
hope so.
backing
I'm
of.
tired of having 67 shots on goal and scoring only one in open play. You all know that we were gifted a penalty against Manchester United. You know that. You all know that wasn't a penalty. If it had happened to us, we would have been all over the lot. They're going to keep penalty. That Javier Elliott thing wasn't a penalty. You all know that. We escaped.
Come on, because that was a penalty. That's a definitely penalty.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was because he kicked the ball
away.
The
Doku one was a penalty. Really? You see, listen. Let's go by referee standards for a moment. They said the Doku penalty wasn't a penalty. So how was the Javier Elliott one a penalty?
Because he took him out.
By that standard, you have to kill somebody to get a penalty, man. You have to wring somebody's neck to get a penalty. So for me, anyway, I respect your opinion. I thought it was soft. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I thought it was soft. I think it was soft because we see them not given, right? Of course, if it's Havertz, it will be given, but we've seen them not given.
Look at Havertz today. Look at that dive and they gave a penalty.
Embarrassing.
What's the point of having VAR, Uncle?
You know what I'm enjoying? I am enjoying Arsenal scoring more goals than everybody else, conceding less goals than everybody else, having their goalkeeper being the goalkeeper of the year, having all the plaudits said about them and them not winning a single trophy. At least we got away with my grandma's bedpan, right? We won that. We will complete the season and Arsenal will be second and they will win nothing. And then when Liverpool are talking about the 115 charges of Man City that need to be addressed, more people will come aboard, because hitherto it's all about Liverpool beating, Klopp beating, FSD beating. Now Stanley Conk is also going to know that if I spend 600 million pounds and the 115 charge lot having been dealt with, I don't win shit. That's what's going to happen.
Unks, have you got everything off your chest? Because we don't leave the stream until you do.
I've
Are you
gotten
done?
it all off my chest, bro. I'm good. I'm very good. I've gotten it all off my chest. I'm very happy.
Good.
You know,
That's good.
today, for the first time in a long time, I was relaxed watching Man City winning the money. I said, go ahead, bridge the goal difference. Come on, Erling, do it. Come on, Erling. Yeah, Erling has scored four goals. He's now the top goal scorer. Arsenal will go home with absolutely nothing, because I don't want to hear from Piers Morgan. I don't want to hear from Mo Barksdale. I don't want to hear from my kid brother, because they're always in my ear. I had enough of them. Manchester United don't have supporters. Manchester City don't have supporters. I don't even know one. Apart from Hamza, I don't know any Manchester City.
Oh, Unks, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you too. Thanks
You
for
made
having
the
me.
show.
Guys.
Unks, you
How
always
you
make
doing?
the show. You always make
Yeah.
the show.
Asim, thanks for having me. It's been great. So
Thank you very
let's hope that tomorrow, we don't concede the first goal. But that's hoping too much, right? You know that.
No. Adnan, as ever, thank you very much, brother.
No, thank you as well.
Unks, Sarib, the outro is yours. Go for it.
You know what? What I will say before we go is that it's been a tough season. It's been a long season, but I think finally all of us can put our feet up, look forward to the summer. The story of this season has been beautiful. Let's hope it has its happy end. 3 games to go, 3 more chances to get Klopp more Premier League wins, couple goals, and maybe some clean sheets as well. Thank you guys. Thank you the chat. Big up Adnan. Big up Albert.
You're hoping for too much. Clean sheet. You're hoping for too
Oh
much.
no, a man can dream. A man can dream. A man can dream.
You at least dream that we don't concede the first goal. That's enough.
I hope not. I'm gonna go and make prayer now for it. But guys, thank you very much. It's been 2 hours and 11 minutes, guys. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Big up all the chat. Asim as ever, Mr. Beautiful himself. Thank you very much as well. Take care,
Take care,
guys.
guys. Have a good night. Ta-ra. Bye-bye.